Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Rugby World Cup. This one taking place at 3:45 a.m, which is not too far away, between Argentina and Samoa. Now, at the moment, the Argentines, they are yet to get themselves a victory throughout this Rugby World Cup competition, whereas for Samoa, they walked away with one win from one after they were successful in their game up against Chile. Looking through at the starting lineups for these two sides. First of all, Argentina will be Thomas Gashaw at number 1, Julio Montoya at 2, and Eduardo Bello as the number 3. Now, for Argentina in that last game up against the English, they weren't able to score up until around that 79th minute. So certainly want to be more clinical in this contest up against the Samoans. But one bonus for them in their game up against the English was the fact that they did not concede a try throughout the full 80 minutes. Guido Pitti at number 4 with Matthias Alemano as the 5. Pablo Matera, Marcos Crema, very aggressive man, at number 7, has to make sure that discipline is on point here. And Juan Martin Gonzalez there as the number 8. Gonzalo Bertrano and Santiago Carreras will be the 9-10 combination. Santiago Chocabarez and Matias Maroni in the midfield. Mateo Carreras out on the left wing. Emiliano Boffelli out on the right, more than likely with the kicking tee as well. And Juan Cruz Malia there at number 15. Looking through at the Samoan starting lineup for this game. James Lay, Seilala Lam, and Paul Aluamele. So just a change at prop for Aluamele coming into the starting lineup rather than Michael Alatoa in the locking duo. But reshuffled. Chris Vui at number 4 and Brian Elena Usi as the number 5. Darren McFarland at 6. Fritz Lee 7 and Stephen Luatua at number 8. Now, Luatua, he'll need a big game here. I felt like in the last match up against Chile, we didn't quite see as much of him as we would have liked. So hopefully does a bit better here. Jonathan Tamatine at number 9 with Christian Leliofano as the number 10. Nolema Sopawanga for this match. Tamoa Manu and Olapano Junior Saltini in the midfield. Nigel Wong out on the left wing. Ben Lamb, he is returned and he will be out on the right here. And Duncan Paiua there at number 15. So those are the starting lineups for these two sides, ladies and gentlemen. Like I mentioned, we're not too far away from the Rugby World Cup. Another group stage match in Pool D. Hello, everyone. Says, happy there. Welcome in. Hope you are doing very well. Vamos los Pumas. Says John. And everyone seems to be eating a lot. Hi, guys. Says Thal. And someone said about having a curry and then also having some KFC earlier on I saw as well. Vamos Samoa. Let's doze dish. Says Blues. No, and this is going to be an interesting match. Let's get it on. Says Mr. Skits. Yeah, I feel like it could be quite a physical matchup between these two sides, mainly because Argentina, they will enjoy that physicality that the Samoans offer. Samoa by 4, says Jimbo. Argentina win 28 points to 26, says Andre. But I don't think I've seen anyone pick a scoreline more than around, let's say, 10 points difference between these two sides. I think everyone is saying it's going to be relatively close. And I think there's an unpredictable nature to this contest because we haven't really seen what Argentina can do throughout this Rugby World Cup as of yet. We saw them give away a lot of penalties throughout their first game up against England. They also had a lot of handling errors. Whereas for the Samoans, after that first maybe 40 or so minutes, they started to find their stride, started to play a lot better, playing like they did throughout the Pacific Nations Cup. But looking through at previous fixtures for these two sides, as you can see here, England 27 points to 10 win over Argentina for their first game in Pool D of the Rugby World Cup. The interesting stat for that match, though, is Argentina are one of two sides currently in this Rugby World Cup who have not conceded a try. The only other being South Africa. Of course, they are going to be playing Ireland tomorrow. So whether or not that stat does remain the same will still be a wait and see. In their warm-up games for the Rugby World Cup, they have one up against the South Africans in which they were defeated 24 points to 13. Their game up against Spain, they were a lot more clinical. Try-scoring machines, 62 points to the 3. So Argentina, in their last 2 games, have not conceded a try, we should mention. So that is another little stat that we've got to look at. But of course, last game they did end up losing with not conceding the try as well. Looking at Samoa, they have had an eventful kind of August and July. Pacific Nations Cup, they were playing all throughout July and August. They did manage to get themselves a couple wins along the way. One up against the Japanese, which is a little bit higher up. Of course, they are going to be playing again in this Rugby World Cup group stage. Samoa versus Fiji. It was a fun game to watch. A lot of fast-paced action, but 33 points to 19 in favour of the Flying Fijians. 34 points to 9, the win for Samoa over Tonga. As well, they were able to beat the Barbarians and keep the Barbarians to the lowest score that any side had for the past about 6 or 7 years. So that will be something that the Samoans will be happy about. They also had a very close game up against the Irish and then up against the Chileans. They won it 43 points to 10 for their first game in the Rugby World Cup competition. In the chat, we have got Let's Go Kiwi Lads TV on mute. Turn it up. Amish's commentary says it was Nate. And also we have got the hi Amish from GQ. Says Sean, welcome in. And red card time for the Pumas, says Jimbo. So if you are picking a red card for the Pumas, who is the player you think is going to get it? Do let me know. And let me be the exception. Argentina 32, Samoa 15, says Johan. And also we have got both will concede tries, says Jimbo. I hope so anyway, because if they end up conceding tries, more than likely they'll be scoring them at the other end. And we get to see a really fast-paced game between these two teams. I should mention there is a little bit of rain around for this game. But that might actually benefit Samoa, because looking at the last time that they played in the rain was actually up against the island side. And they almost were able to pull themselves off a monumental victory. Samoa will win the game, says it was for La'o. And also, what are your predictions, says Mr. Skits? I believe I went with 31 points to 29 in this game. So I'm hoping for a high scoring one. Depending on how heavy the rain, of course, will depend on how much free-flowing rugby we do get to see. But already looking like the rain is going to be affecting this game relatively heavily at the moment. And gets the W's for the Samoan, says Blues now. And go Manu, says it's Talvela. And I'm in the mood for a lot of tries. Very excited, says George. And greetings from Ireland, Yvonne, says Jimbo. And good morning, lovely people. Greetings from Yvonne's office in the Cayman Islands, says Yvonne there. And 25 for the Argentines, 35 for the Samoans, says Johan. Go Manu, all the best for Amalosia Lamalo. File Favor, hopefully I said that correctly. All the other Manu Samoans, God bless, says George. And Lockle back row, not remaining calm. A very physical game at the ruck, says Jimbo. So that's probably... yeah, Matthias Alimano, the fact that they haven't got Thomas Lavanini for this game means that we won't see him get a card, but Marcos Crema, he's a fiery individual. If you get on his wrong side, you can easily get a penalty out of him. Argentina in their last game up against England conceding about 15 penalties throughout that matchup, dropping the ball around 10 times, and Samoa need to take that into consideration, and if they are given the chances, they need to make the most of it, because if they don't take those early chances and they aren't clinical, that is when Argentina, if they're close in the game, they'll slowly try and work their way back in. We have got their how's it from Williamstown, says George Darren. Do you think France hurt their chances by losing 2 key players, says Rudy? I think that a lot of people feel now that France have lost Dupont as well as Intermac, that they are in a bit of trouble, but we've got to remember, like Luku, anytime he's made his way onto the field, has been phenomenal. I think he's scored in every game that he's appeared in and got a few assists when he makes his way off the bench as well. Jalibert at number 10. I think they're slowly starting to warm up to him. Overall, so yes, it's a massive hit for France, but I don't think it's going to be the end of them in this Rugby World Cup. If anything, I feel like it's risky to underestimate them now because they've still got a very good squad. Can I ask why you wear suits for some games and no suit for others, says Mr. Skits? Normally it is to do with, like, I prefer to only wear the suit once a weekend, so normally it's when there's about 2 or 3 games that are going to be like back to back to back, if that makes sense. So tomorrow is going to be the day that we have the suit on for the 2 games back to back between Chile and England, as well as South Africa versus Ireland. That's going to be when the suit does make its appearance. It may make an appearance the day after as well, just in case. But yeah, it's not really anything too, I guess, deep in terms of why some games I've got a suit, some games I don't. It just kind of depends on the schedule a little bit. What was your prediction for the game? Says Michael, you must have arrived just after I gave my prediction, because I did give it maybe only about 4 minutes ago, but I said that it would be 31 points to 29, Michael. And we have got there, you've been on air more times than my grandma with Alzheimer, or emphysema, sorry, I should say, says Vagabond. And also for Amalosi Mifano, says Donovan, in a tight game, possibly low scoring. With each side trying to minimise opposition scores. Hopefully to snatch it right at the end, maybe a draw 10-10. We'll see. My prediction for Ireland, South Africa is also a draw, says Stephen. I like the way you're thinking, Stephen, because I feel like as a neutral, a draw in that game is the perfect result, because then if those 2 sides meet in the final, that will be ideal, because then no one's actually won throughout that World Cup when they do go head-to-head. A shot, thank you, says Michael. And no Dupont changes the outcome of the Ireland-South Africa game. France, not so scary now, says Jimbo. And at least games tomorrow aren't late or early Monday, says Chronic. It's amazing, though, in terms of the injury of Dupont. I've seen so many South Africans, so many Irish now going, we want to play France rather than New Zealand in that quarterfinal, because now that they haven't got Dupont, it's going to be a completely different game. But then saying that, the way that they were able to ramp up the scoring later on in that contest when Luku was on the field for the French, I feel like we don't want to underestimate France throughout this Rugby World Cup just because they've lost their two big players, or else that might actually be when you find yourself getting beaten. Before this game starts, I guarantee someone will mention the Springboks Island game. Too late, George. We have already had that. Morning, brother Hamish. Let's go Samoa, says Flanders, and good morning all from Brisbane, says Francis there, and love the South African banter. Some great respect between the teams, says Yoni. And also 27 Argentina, 30 Samoa, says Tahana, and Vamos Los Pumas, says Ruth there as well. But we are less than 10 minutes away from the start of this contest, ladies and gentlemen. Now, both of these sides have only played one game throughout their Rugby World Cup campaign so far. The next game for Argentina, they will be playing Chile. That is going to be in less than 9 days' time. That is actually about the 7 or 8 days now till they do play them. And then they've got Argentina versus Japan on the 9th of October. Argentina last week having their rest week, so they do not have any more breaks, theoretically, until they get knocked out of the competition. For the Samoans, they had their rest week in week number 1. Their next game's up against Japan, a rematch of the Pacific Nations Cup. And to be honest, that game could be extremely crucial for both of those sides moving forward to see who can finish just that little bit higher. And then the last game for Samoa, it is up against England. So from here, there are no easy games for the Samoans. But if they manage to get their momentum continuing throughout, getting into that top 2, into the quarterfinals, just around the corner as well. But the two sides just about to make their way out onto the field. We have got there, lol, says George, and go the Manu Samoans. Real action this time, guys, for a great spot. Says George, good afternoon. George, says Jimbo. And also we have got there, see you going to watch the game, says Dani. We will see you later on. Appreciate your efforts, Hamish, listening to you in Scotland whilst watching on the box, says Vagabond. And of course, a game later on that we are going to be covering on the channel is Tonga versus Scotland. That should be a hard-hitting affair between those two teams. And if Scotland want any chance of being able to qualify, they do need to make sure they win that game comfortably. What time the game begin, please? 8 minutes time. Both sides just making their way out of the tunnel. Then we will have the national anthems, and then we are ready to go for this exciting fixture of Vamos Argentina, says Water Sports fan, and Theo McFarlane, solid form, says Blues Nate. Yeah, the fact that they were able to take him out of the locking duo, put him straight back in at loose forward as if nothing happened is, I guess, just a testament to that man's skill and his ability to adapt into a side that has got a lot of changes that do need to happen throughout this Rugby World Cup. Each and every week, of course, you want to manage those manage the player amount of time that they're out there on the field. That is why Michael Alatoa coming off the bench for this contest rather than starting. And then that's why Brian Aloa-Mile in the starting lineup rather than coming off the bench. But anyone who is new to the channel, I should mention, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated. You all being here for these live streams. We've got plenty more coming during the weekend. What we will quickly do before we get too far into it, we will show you guys the way that the table sits currently for these two sides. There we go. This is the table for Pool D. England at number 1. They have won 2 games, one up against Japan and one up against the Argentines. For Samoa, they are sitting 1 win from win. And just keep a close eye on that points differential, plus 33. If they can walk away from this game, even if they did suffer a loss, if they can walk away from this game with a bonus point at least, they would be within being 7. And then also alongside that, if they can walk away with the bonus point for scoring 4 or more tries, they will still be right up there in terms of the overall standings for this group. I should mention Japan, they do not have a game this week, and they will be back next week up against the Samoans. We've got there is Crevian, says Macau. I guess that perfectly transitioned us to looking at the bench, and Augustine Crevi, of course, playing at number 16 for Los Pumas alongside Vivas and Comas Cordella in the front row, Rubiolo and Rodrigo Bruni at number 20, Thomas Cupelli, Nicolas Sanchez, and also it will be Lucio Cinti at number 23. For the Samoan, Samu Malolo at number 16, Charlie Famuina, his first chance in the Rugby World Cup for the Samoans, and Michael Alatoa at number 18, Taleni Su, a man who did start at 6 for the last contest, and Jordan Taufua will be the 2 replacement forwards. Milani Matavao, the 7 superstar, D'Angelo Leula at number 22, and Danny Tuala at number 23. So like I mentioned, no Lima Sopawanga in this game for the Samoans here. So chilly here in Cape Town. I'm under my 2 duvets listening to Hamish. Says a roof. As South Africa conceded a try, says Chronic Underachiever. They have not. So they are one of 2 sides who have not conceded a try yet in this Rugby World Cup, the other being Argentina. And great day, Kiwi lads. Let's go kickoff time. God bless, says George there as well. But we have just heard the Argentine national anthem. So today you're the men in black and looking so handsome today, says Amore Lagrange. Thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. It must have been for the Pumas, but Samoa will make it very difficult, says George. And the thing is, with the Samoans, from what we saw in the Pacific Nations Cup, even if they do lose a game, you're still going to feel it for about a week. And the thing is, Argentina, they have their next game just around the corner. It is going to be up against Chile, so that is one bonus for them. But of course, they cannot underestimate their opposition in that regard. We are still seeing a few drops of rain falling at the stadium. About 15 degrees Celsius, so not too bad in terms of temperature. South Africa only conceded 3 points so far, says John. And there are many thanks for the compliment. Great presentation from you. I usually just catch periodic updates. Yours is like visual radio, no live TV for some time in my formative years in New Zealand. Kia ora, says Stephen. Although if you are in New Zealand, I'm just going to very quickly check this, but you might actually be able to watch the game for free without any problems. Stephen, one moment, we'll see this. Is it going to be where I think it is? No. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I got you all probably excited, but I know that TVNZ was supposed to have some games for Samoa, but it seems like maybe for this World Cup, they don't actually have that option, so I do apologise for that. And Pumas are prowling. Are they going to pounce from the whistle, says Roof. And also, good evening from Johannesburg, South Africa. Trust and hope for a huge Argentina/Puma win, says Andre G. But now the Samoans lining up. Pre-match rituals just about to get underway, and then we are back ready to go for the kickoff of this game, ladies and gentlemen. Looking through at this starting lineup for the Argentines, it is Thomas Cachot at number 1, Julio Montoya at 2, and Eduardo Bello as the number 3. Pitti and Alemano will be the locking duo. Matera, Crema, and Juan Martin Gonzalez there. At number 8, Gonzalo Bertrano and Santiago Carreras, the 19 combination, something that they did go to quite a bit throughout the Rugby Championship 2023. Santiago Chocobares and Matias Maroni in the midfield. Mateo Carreras, Emiliano Boffelli, and Juan Cruz Malia at number 15. Then for the Samoans, it is going to be James Lay, Seilala Lam, and Paul Alawamile as the front row. Chris Vui and Brian Elena Usi at number 5. Theo McFarland at 6, Fritz Lee 7, and Stephen Luatua, the experienced veteran, as the number 8, Jonathan Tamatina and Christian Liliafano as the 19 combo, the same as what the Samoans had last week in their game up against Chile. Tamua Manu, Ulapano Junior Saltini, they will be the midfield combo. Nigel Awong, Ben Lamb, and Duncan Paioa, the back 3 for the Samoans. So the big return here is Ben Lamb, seeing as he was injured in the game up against the Barbarians, but now is back ready to go for this Rugby World Cup second match. We have got, so it is only South Africa that is forced to wear the stupid permanent away kit. I'll be forced to wear that tomorrow again. Gurr says democracy must survive, although we've seen a couple teams having to wear their away kits depending on the clash of colours. I think that, what was the other game this week that we had? Or we've actually had about 2 or 3 games that sides have been wearing their alternative strip so that they don't overlap. And of course, South Africa, I always give it to everyone, says John. I don't think anyone is forced to have a particular design of kit. And also we have got there, is Australia the biggest fraud so far? I wouldn't say fraud. Like, at the end of the day, they are a side that have gone with the youngest team in this Rugby World Cup. So I think maybe people overestimated what they were going to be able to do in this competition. If they beat Wales, they're right back in it though. Have got a decent chance making it through to the next stage. South Africa wearing our white kit tomorrow, says Rudy. And looking forward to this very tight game. Argentina can't play as badly. Samoa will be confident, says Saturday Player. And also, it is to do with colourblind people making the game accessible for them, says DPG. And South Africa only team to wear 3 kits so far then, says John. Yeah, I guess you can add that to the list of firsts for the South Africans. They're the first side to go with a 7-1 split in a Rugby World Cup. That is another thing that they have added to their list. Shame about the Pont, but certainly makes France more beatable, says DPG, and rules behind a kickoff going straight to touch, says Kalen. So normally if that is the case, if it goes out on the full, you go back to halfway and it will be a scrum to the side that was receiving the kickoff. There is also, you can ask them to re-kick it, but I don't think anyone ever does that. They just say, we'll take the scrum. We've got there a hard game when it comes down to names for you today, says Rudy. Yeah, there's a few tricky ones out there. Luckily, we've covered a lot of games for Argentina as well as Samoa throughout the last couple of years, so we have got some of these names relatively safe, I guess. We have got there the referee for this match. They have not shown him yet, but as soon as I know, of course, we'll let you guys know as well. What happened to Dupont? He got his face fractured, or his cheekbone fractured, from a shot from Dazel. So more than likely, the Namibian will be missing probably 3 or so weeks. And by the looks of it, maybe Dupont is going to miss the same, if not more time than that. We have got there South Africans. We'll all be in tears tomorrow night. Happy days, says DPG. Let the battle commence, says Jimbo. So yeah, it's going to be a hard-hitting affair we see there. Tana Umanga and Michael Checker, both in their respective coaching boxes. I'll bet any South African island will win. They're hungry. And we have half of Ireland in the crowd. Says Azza, an afternoon, brother, says Mr. Kiwi for life. Just about to show the referee for this one. I'm trying to work out who it is. It's from about maybe 100 metres away at the moment. Oh, I heard the voice. It's Nick Berry. I heard him straight away. Yeah, mate. That's his lingo. We've got greetings from Berlin. Go the Argies. Yep, Nick Berry in charge of this one, ladies and gentlemen. Also, the Georgian assistant referee, Jordan Way and Brett Cronin, is in charge of the TMO, but the Samoans, they will be kicking off from left to right, and we are now underway, ladies and gentlemen, for another matchup taking place for the Rugby World Cup. And great low aggressive tackle from Fritz Lee off the back on, I believe it was Juan Cruz Malia. Gonzalo Berrano gets his pass away, almost ended up hitting a player in the head, although we've seen from that game between England and Japan that can be an effective tool to score a try. Oh, that's a player taken out in the air. It will be the penalty. It's just going to be a penalty to Argentina, but not the way they wanted this match to start. I believe it was Duncan Paiua pushed into the Argentine player. Yeah, he was. Oh, in fact, no, he pushed. That's actually worse than I first thought. He's pushed Gonzalo Berrano into the player, and then he hasn't cushioned the landing. Yeah, they're going to go upstairs. This might actually be a yellow card for Duncan Paiua off the get-go. At first, it didn't look as serious, but then looking at that, that's just something that didn't need to happen in the first moments of the game. We have got there, Sexton retires the South Africans tomorrow, says DPG. Right, so Duncan Paiua, he pushes Gonzalo Berrano into his teammate in Carreras, and then his body was actually in the way. That is Paiua's body. He doesn't cushion his landing. He's got the receiver in the air who's landed awkwardly on his arm. This is going to be a yellow card for Duncan Paiua, the quickest yellow card we have seen of this Rugby World Cup, and depending on whether or not it gets upgraded, it could be the quickest red card we have also seen. He's pushed the player in the back. That was an absolutely terrible play from Duncan Paiua, and he is now going to be off the field for 10 minutes. The Samoan crowd are booing, but it is understandable for why he has been penalised. We've seen a lot less given as a yellow card throughout this Rugby World Cup, but not the start of the match that the Samoans were after. Definitely not up against a wounded Pumas side. They weren't going into this game with a huge amount of confidence, but now that they've got a man advantage, that might give them that little edge that they need as well. Professional foul, says Azza. And also we have got there not even a hit yet, says Jimbo. And not another damn card. Didn't even see the guy. That's just a penalty, says Brian. Although in the replay, the problem for Duncan Paiua was he pushed Gonzalo Berrano, which started Santiago Carreras' momentum. But in doing so, of pushing Berrano, he didn't realise that he was going to be the guy that Carreras landed on. So yeah, he made a big mistake there in terms of worried about pushing a Puma player rather than worried about getting out of the way of the player landing. Please, I need to see the play, please. Says Paula Latu. Depending on whereabouts you are in the world will depend on what options you have got, but your best bet is to go on the Rugby World Cup website. They will have a section called Where to Watch, and then you can see exactly where to watch depending on where you are in the world. But currently, Matthias Maroni and his Argentine side attacking from just inside of the Samoan 22. Marcos Crema, big aggressive run straight at James Lay. Pablo Matera now tackled. by Brian. Elena will see nice pop pass up from Los Pumas. Duncan Paioi, he will be waiting anxiously to see if his card is upgraded. That was close to a Luatua turnover. Carreras sold the dummy, went himself 10 metres out from the line now. Tamatine, clean turnover for the Samoans, only 5 metres out from their line, and now looking to put together a couple phases. They want someone in the pocket. They haven't got someone there yet. Where is Leliafano? He was just chilling at the back. Now they have got the man in the pocket here. Looks like Nigel Wong will leave it for Jonathan Tamatine to put it back into the pocket now. The cards are fine. It makes players responsible for their actions. We have got there was the easiest quarterfinal now. Is a New Zealand or France without Dupont, says DPG. I mentioned about that earlier on the stream. It is amazing how much one player in a lot of people's eyes makes the difference. Because now that Dupont's gone, no one seems to be intimidated by Maxime Luku, even though he has been in some pretty good form when given those opportunities. So straight away, now that Dupont's gone, everyone thinks that France are dead and buried, but I don't think that's the case. I think they're still going to be a lot stronger than some people are giving them credit for. And, you know, that could hurt, possibly. We have got there definitely the wrong channel, but up the Panthers. Says, as of course, later on tonight, Warriors taking on the Broncos. It's going to be a nervous one for the Warriors. They were able to get through their other final already. Now offloaded off the back for Los Pumas, sitting 22 metres out from the line. Big bump off there. I believe that would have been Mateo Carreras, a long way off his wing. Little pop pass up to was Alemano. Now slinging the ball off to the right-hand side. Finally offload for Maroni. That's a knock-on. It's also a big shot from Nigel Wong. Juan Cruz Malia in the back of the head. He's got to be careful. He's fired up. You cannot afford to be ill-disciplined here if you're Samoa. Bay are plenty beat Northland and a cliffhanger, says Peter Wild. It will be George. But Dupont is definitely their star, says DPG. He's got to wrap his arms, Nigel Wong. You got to be careful. The crowd are not happy with that replay they've just seen. I'd like to think that they're not going to go upstairs. We have got there. Good morning, Irish, says Zion. Welcome in. You are doing very well, and I think if the French are told Dupont can be back for the final, it might galvanise them. But if they are told he is out, it might affect them. They have a couple of weeks to sort it out, says DPG, and Pumas will get up. They have discipline, says Azza. Michael Checker looking not phased at all in the coaching box, but Jonathan Tamatine about to feed the ball into the scrum for the Samoans. Belly tackle, says Jimbo. Ball's gone down in the front, and we are going to have another scrum reset. These cards are ruining the competition, says Brian. And I mean, we have seen a huge amount of yellow cards. Whether or not it's upgraded to a red, we are still waiting to find out. Look, if a player doesn't wrap, he deserves a card, says DPG. And there as well, and same guy knocked out Grant, sent Duncan for a yellow, says Blues Nate, and also shoulder charges are allowed in soccer, says Gus. And no, they aren't, Brian. The cards are because players pull tackles, says DPG. I think that the thing is with the TMO now, they are a lot more strict on things. So things you used to be able to get away with, now players just aren't able to sneak in. Like in the old days, you could throw an uppercut in the scrum and no one would see. Nowadays, you've got about 50 different camera angles, and some of those 50 angles are going to look bad. Some of them aren't going to look as bad, and it depends on what ones the TMOs are looking at will determine how serious of the outcome does end up being. But there will be a free kick now to Samoa. They are still inside of their 22, so I believe they will look to just boot this one as far downfield as they can and put it into touch. It's going to be super physical therapy for the next 2 hours, says Ruth. And also, I love big hits, but big fair hits, says DPG. And come on, Samoa, says Porter Porter. And also an uppercut, says Azza. Yeah, if you look at some of those old school, what's happened there? Quick tap from Christian Leliafano. Oh, it's going to be a scrum for Argentina. What's happened there is Leliafano, he's gone in front of the mark, I think is what they've said. Nick Berry looks confused, but by the sounds of it, because Christian Leliafano started charging forward and he ran past the mark, it now means that it is going to be a scrumpy for the Argentines. I think I heard that correctly. It's a confusing one. They said it's one of those intricate laws. Christian Leliafano, a lot of experience under his belt, you would have thought. and you would have just booted that one into touch. The dirty players are getting caught. Put your wallet on the South Africans getting at least a yellow tomorrow, says DPG. We can't lose balls like that every time. Samoa really need to get it together. They're crumbling a bit here, says Jonesy. Okay, I've got there still 15 players for France, number 14. What you're so worried about, says Stahl. Yeah, they've still got a world-class side, France. And don't get me wrong, Dupont is a big loss, but looking at, like, Luku, he has actually been very impressive every time he's been called upon by France. Yeah, accidental offside, says Peter Wild, a big lawsuit against Rugby Union. I have to check every single questionable hit, says Chronic. And now it's going to be a kick downfield from Christian Leliofano, still not finding touch with it, 7.5 minutes in. Juan Cruz Malia now charges at the line. Nice tackle on him by Christian. Or in fact, it was Jonathan Tamatina. Now Argentina using the loop around set play. Out wide to Mateo Carreras. Let's drive hard into the 22. Looks like an injury here. I want to say it's Julian Montoya that I've seen down in back play. Hopefully, he is going to be all right. It doesn't look too flash for him at the moment. There is a new advantage now for the Argentines for being offside. In fact, no, that was actually Juan Matan Gonzalez. Pass out wide for Emiliano Boffelli. Stretches out and scores the try for Argentina. And now they find themselves with the victory with the man advantage. We've got the I Hope Guinness are in full production of their fine product, as we will need a river of it for the night of the final to keep Ireland happy, says DBG and try. And also Vamos Pumas, says George. And also we have got the hello from Reunion, says Jung there, welcome in. And great play there, says Jonesy. Yeah, just using the full width of the field there, Argentina. The loop around play looked like a big shot coming in on... Okay, I've just heard the TMO. I thought that they were talking about a new yellow card, but it is going to be remaining as a yellow card for Duncan Paiua. So the Argentines, they will be back against 15 in a very short moment. But first of all, of course, getting themselves a nice try there, going out the back line to Emiliano Boffelli. I wouldn't be surprised if France wins, but my money is on Ireland. That's from a Kiwi, says Ezza. And 14 men easily got around, says Jimbo. And yeah, it's just smart play from Argentina, knowing that they've got the man advantage. So if they do go wide, there is going to be that space opening up. And with no Paiua in the back as well, made it very tricky. And thank God for extra cameras, otherwise Box would get away with a lot of thuggery, says Portable. I don't think it's just the Springboks though. If you look at any side around the world, you can see a large amount of yellow cards for things that normally wouldn't be picked up on. Definitely in this World Cup, they know that they have to check everything. My problem is when they don't check things that are either cardable or no tries. We saw in that game between France and Namibia that France had about 2 forward passes in one of their plays, and it was still allowed. We saw in that game just a little bit prior, Italy versus Uruguay. Italy, they threw the ball at the try line rather than placing it. It was given as a try. No one checked it. And it's just that consistency that we want to be able to see. Box always, Thugs Island, I've had 2 yellows in 14 matches, says DPG. So does that just mean they're better at not getting caught? No, I'm joking, of course, DPG. Don't get mad at me. 25 metres out for the line now, Argentina. And they did get that kick over, I should mention. The blonde mullet is party in the front and party in the back, says bystander. So a bit of a party all round. I don't get invited to many parties. Bit of a shame, really. How's it going, Hamish? Wales, New Zealand final, says David. In fact, the last final, or not the last final, the last party I got invited to, I did have to politely decline because I did have a live stream happening that night. And I wanted to be well and truly awake for that one. It's more like how many eyes are on that game, says Azza. And not looking forward to a France Ireland confrontation, says Young. And also South African don't have the kickers to win it. I think France are a strong choice. They're pretty famously inconsistent. Ireland are my best bet if they have to get past the mental block of the quarterfinals, says Jonesy. And that try shouldn't have stood. It was double movement, says Scott. Although for Emiliano Boffelli, he has allowed one stretching out movement, which was what he ended up doing to be able to score that try. Respect and subscribe. Like for that commitment, guys, says Mikhail. Okay, say La La Lamb now with the line-out throw for the Samoans, and they are back to 15 men on the field now. And this is the first real chance for the Samoans throughout this game. Is that yellow going to fire them up just that little bit more? Say La La Lamb breaking off the back, saw a bit of a gap. Does make a couple extra meters for Manu Samoa here. Off to Stephen Luatua. Nice low tackle made on Marcos Crema. James Lay now. And this is just about getting a few more phases put together for Samoa rather than just rushing it, trying to find a try straight away. If they can hang on to this ball for a little bit longer, it will also start to tire out Los Pumas, who were up very quick in that breakdown. I believe it was Eduardo Bello. Nice pop pass up to Fritz Lee. Over the ball. Great steal from Pablo Matera. Although Samoa looking to get it straight back, but unsuccessful in that regard. Now, wide cut out pass for Argentina. It was loose, actually bouncing in the in-goal area. Mateo Carreras breaking through 4 tackles to get back out to 5 metres out from the line. Oh, that's an ugly take out there from Jonathan Tamatini. He did not meet it. He just slipped as he was going for the charge down. Duncan Paioa, his first run since making his way back onto the field after the yellow card. Christian Lealiafano goes across to Tamua Manu. It's not quite the gap opening up yet for the Samoan team, but they are getting a few more phases, which is the main thing. We saw gain line carries, 9 from Argentina compared to the 0 that we had seen from the Samoas at that point. Now they have certainly changed that. Christian Lealiafano. Oh, it's a diving one from Nigel Awong. He's hit Thomas Gashaw in the face, who has stayed down holding his nose. And that ball has bounced out the back, though, to Argentina. Julian Montoya gets it away to Eduardo Bello. That is a knock-on from Argentina. Referee did not see it as it was on the far side. Would have liked to think the TMO, or not the TMO, though, but his assistant ref on this near side would have called that one for him. That is now another clean knock-on from Argentina, but this time Samoa end up with the ball. Big driving tackle from Emiliano Boffelli, playing the ball on the ground. Penalty goes the way of Samoa there. We've got exactly tier 2 squads. I'm getting the same consideration, says Gus. And also, we have got there, Hamish, give me your first half score, please, says Roof. I think that Argentina will have the advantage at halftime, but I think Samoa might be very close to being able to pull it back in the second half. We have got there, when is the last game Ireland played? Game Ireland played. I know that Ireland played South Africa last year in the November internationals, in which they did get themselves a victory, but that is the last time I can think of, other than maybe a few years prior to that the two sides have played. Hamish just put his life on hold for us, so ensure to subscribe and like the stream, good people, says Bystander. And also Ireland will win. The box is selfish, he says, although I don't think we can base that one game between the Romanians and the Springboks as the one for whether or not the Boks are going to be passing the ball in this upcoming game. Because, I'll be honest, I was the first one to admit that in that game up against Romania, there were a lot of players in that back line that were playing quite an individual-based game, whereas the lineup's almost completely changed for this one. Lealiafano going for the three-pointer here and has actually missed the way to the left-hand side. So now the score will remain at 7-0. Okay, there you go, Manu, says Efemani. Ryan is 210 and Evan is 204, says Bystander there. And the biggest player is Marcus Smith, says Jonesy. Of course, he is going to be playing in the game up against Chile tomorrow. We will be covering that one on the channel alongside Springboks versus Ireland, as well as Portugal versus Georgia. So anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. That one is kicked out on the fall from Samoa. They are their own worst enemies at the moment. Duncan Paioa, he's got a yellow card. He has now kicked that ball out on the full. Christian Lealiafano missing the kick, also making a mistake when he was inside of the 22. Oh, you have got there, yeah, the Manu says, I am Joanna, let's go also, says Asangi. And there as well, but Julian Montoya now with the line-out throw. And the big thing for Samoa is while they're going through this tough patch in the first 15 minutes, if they can stop Argentina from scoring too many more tries, they still have a chance in this game. We saw what they were able to do late up against the Chilean side. And that was score try after try after try. But they have to find a way of staying in the game for long enough to have that opportunity. Now going off to the right-hand side here for Los Pumas. Only 22 metres out for the line. Great work in the breakdown from Fritz Lee. Unlucky to not end up with that penalty in his favour. Julian Montoya now. Nice crash run from him, moving to 20 metres out from the try line. This time Samoa over the ball, and that time they will get themselves the penalty. Tomorrow night is only about who ends up on the top of the pool. Still a long way to go to the final. And go South Africa, says Rudy. There's a positive if the Boks lose tomorrow. At least we won't wake up Irish. Says it was there from Gareth. Now vamos Pumas and get them Samoa, Says David. And Samoa will come out firing in the second half, says I Am Giant. And it is what we saw in their first game up against Chile. They did take around, I think it was 30-something minutes to score their first try. I think it was about 38. And then as soon as they scored one, they started really ramping up the tries that they were able to get throughout the second 40 minutes. There's unnecessary penalties again, says Mikhail. But now, say Lala Lamb. Going to have that ball available on the halfway line for Samoa. This first 17 minutes has absolutely flown by. It only feels like yesterday or about 5 minutes ago that Duncan Paiua got the yellow card, but that was actually about 17 minutes ago that it did take place. Theo McFarlane taking that one nicely on the halfway line for Samoa. Now, Christian Leleofano gets it off to Brian Alainausi. Good pressure being put on in the breakdown from Argentina, but not walking away with the ball now. Cross kick from Christian Leleofano. Got a little bit too much on it, and Theo McFarlane able to keep it in the field of play, but it is back in the hands of Argentina now. Emiliano Boffelli, he is playing his halfback. Montoya, flat ball to Crema. Now Bertrano rolling the ball back once more. I would like Samoa to win this game, says Mori. It looks like if the Box lose, they'll play New Zealand. Might be better. Says Galen. Hi guys, I hear or see. Someone was saying Box don't know how to pass or dribble. Says Colin. So they were only really referring to that Romania Springboks game, I believe. But other than that, I feel like the Springboks, as long as they go well with the backline they've selected, which I believe they will be able to. We've actually got a preview of that game coming out in about 24 minutes time, ladies and gentlemen. So actually just about on half time in this game. So if you guys do want to see what we think about that game, 24 minutes time, that video will be coming out. This Argie team is a good unit compared to the previous World Cup teams Samoa has encountered, says Tim. And also we have got Ireland. Do you think you'll still be ranked number 1 without your 8 internationals, says Willie. I mean, they're a part of the Irish side, though, so there's not much you can do about it. Like, at the end of the day, they are Irish international players. And I think every team in history has had players from different places. Even South Africa, believe it or not, they've had some players who were born outside of South Africa who have then played for them. It may have been a little while since they've had it, but it has been the same boat before. We have got there, but definitely Box Island game going to be so damn good, says George. We have got there, Villiers crying as we hard out, says DPG, and shout out to Sacred Hearts College, Auckland 1A champions for 2023, says I'm Giant. Well, just staying in the field of play, Samoa now get themselves another penalty. 2 good turnovers. They've set in the breakdown. Samoa do end up with the penalty in their favour. And Argentina's discipline has been something that has hurt them. Definitely in that first game up against England, they just weren't able to find themselves that momentum. If they could get Pacifica, all the better, says Gus. And South Africans are currently playing with an Irishman, Jean Klein. I had 5 caps for Ireland before he switched. It's not good enough for Ireland, says DPG. Ooh, those are fighting words, DPG. I feel like the game, I've talked about it, the game tomorrow is going to be feisty between the two fan bases. We have got there, Creek makes South Africa his only foreign-born player, along with Argentina, says Villy. And that's why I said it in recent years. Like back in the day, I believe, who was it? It was one of the old school fellows. He was either born in Namibia or Zimbabwe. I'm sure a lot of people will be able to help me out here. Who was the South African back in the day who was born elsewhere? I can't think of his name, though. I think it was a halfback. Oh, yeah, I've got there. Put me on live, please, says William. Depending on whereabouts you are in the world, there are different options of being able to watch. So be sure to check out the Rugby World Cup Beast, says Lightbringer there. And the Fob says I Am Giant. And Beast, everyone's going with Beast there in the chat. Shavanga says bystander there as well. Totarai, 21 minutes into this game at the moment. And True Mornay, most are just hoping the Box lose, says Colin. And a lot of improvement from our Pacific brothers. I'm very proud of them, says Monty. Yeah, if they can stay in this game for, I would say, the first half. Second half is when we normally see Samoa start to fire up. And that may be a hugely beneficial thing for them because currently Argentina, they are throwing quite a bit of attack at them, although they are giving away their fair share of penalties alongside that. Now going to the left-hand side, partially charged down from Jonathan Tamatine. Big decision now to be made by the referee. Did it go into touch? Okay, they've said it's going to be the Argentina throw. We have got there, geez, people say English fans are arrogant for nothing. On the South African fans here, says Jonesy. I was getting told off by a couple English fans on our last England-Japan one, but that was because I asked like a reasonable question. I was like, what year was the last time that England won the Six Nations? And they all got angry at me, and they were like, New Zealand lost to them in the semi-final. I said, yeah, I know that, but what year was the Six Nations? Found out 2020. South Africa 0 internationals, Ireland 8, mate. We're talking tomorrow, not the past, says Willie. Okay, so we're pretty much picking the stats that we want to look at, Willie, rather than looking at the factual ones. I get you. No, I'm joking. Of course, South Africa going to be looking very strong in their game. I'm looking forward to seeing the 7-1 off the bench. As you guys know, we have been enjoying commentating the South African games for the past 3 years doing the URC. Yeah, that's a touchy subject. We're not very good, says Jonesy. I think we are going to get a draw anywhere in this World Cup, says G13. Here are all 12 foreign born South Africa players, says DPG. And Go Samoa, says Young. And then Samoa attacking game not working, says Robinson. And Dirk has also said Ray Mort in there. And give Ireland a chance to earn a World Cup, says Goldberg. Oh, sorry, yeah, it was Goldberg. And the beast came from Zimbabwe, says Morne Lagrange. Right, Emiliano Boffelli from the halfway line is considering lining up the 3 points. I should mention that with the rain, it has meant that it's been a little bit more, I guess, slower paced and a little bit slipperier out there. We have got there, really enjoy the crystal ball gazers picking Ireland versus South Africa in the final. And English fans are excellent at Ashes cricket games when the Barmy Army like to tease Australia for being convicts and singing God Save Your King, says Tim. And yeah, we actually covered quite a bit of that Ashes series on the channel, which it was an intense series and it almost, went down to the wire. Boffelli has got that kick over, so that is now going to make the score 10 points to 0 in favour of Los Pumas. And which country are your biggest fan base? Most active in the chat, Hamish Scaling? I would probably say South Africa, to be honest. Followed by maybe, I want to say Fiji might be higher than, we might be New Zealand then Fiji overall. And Percy Montgomery, he was the one who I was thinking of from back in the day from Namibia. I agree, URC has been very interesting change-out, says Bystander. And also we have got there, at least we have electricity here, says Roof. And let's go Kiwi lads at the likes, says Blues Nate in the chat as well. But currently Argentina inside of their 22 with a nice lead currently sitting at 10 points. Samoa can score themselves a last minute try in this half. They will still be well and truly in this contest. Bethrano about to feed this ball up. Tian Strauss back in 1992-94, says Rob. Tell you what, you guys have got some good knowledge. I don't know whether or not some of you have Googled certain names or whether you guys just know them off of your top of your head, but either way, it's very impressive how quickly you guys are able to find all the players there. Argentina controlling at the moment. Yes, great chat from the Kiwi lads, says Colin there. We are going to be here for every single game of the Rugby World Cup, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 34,000 subscribers. And I honestly feel that we may be able to get there by the end of this live stream. We are currently sitting, I've got the statistic here. We are currently sitting 121 away. So if anyone does want to help us out, get a little bit closer to that goal, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But currently Samoa rolling more for them. That looked like it was an illegal join there. Right, White jumping across, so it is going to be the penalty. I have some great knowledge. When I am sober, not so good when I'm drunk, but they will go back for the penalty in favour of Samoa. That was against Guido Petty. Got himself on the wrong side. Google is your friend, says Tim. Also, we have a light. South Africa goes Samoa, says Goldberg. Theo McFarland. It's being shown there. He does start this Rugby World Cup campaign playing as a lock. Now has found himself. Oh, they're taking on the shot again here, Samoa. I don't think this is the right choice. I honestly feel that they should have gone for the corner here because their rolling ball has made meters, and that is somewhere that Argentina have just given away the penalty. So if they gave away another one just out from the line, that would actually be a decent chance of Argentina ending up with the yellow card. Yeah, I'm not too sure about this decision from Samoa. Misused absolute legend, says George there. And no load shedding for days now, says Ricky. And any news on the cheekbone? It's not sounding too flash. I know that he's going to be ruled out for at least a few games anyway, but it's whether or not he can be back just in time for those important matches. But more than likely, his World Cup may be over. And Samoa just wants to keep in touch, says Tim. Although Liliafano, he hasn't been kicking too well. Although he's got that one over. It was important. Oh, it's at the crossbar and still gone over for Liliafano. Almost lost all its distance in the process, but 10 points to 3 now in favour of Argentina. They have still got themselves the lead, losing to India in cricket. Like losing a race to a cheetah. Not too much to be worried about, says Jonesy. How are you doing, Hamish? Says Moni, I'm doing very well. Currently wide awake, even though it is 4:15 a.m. New Zealand time. Hey guys, a bit like what lady gets lucky with me, Bear Goggles. I will be on tomorrow, says DPG. And I'll say I'll miss, says SGT. Tell you what, if it was one more metre out, it would have been tight. They say the point is out for 6 weeks. Yeah, so that's pretty much. That's pretty much the week after the World Cup that he'd be back, isn't it? If they did make it through to the final. Now going off to the right-hand side here. Short ball from Santiago Carreras. Knock on from the Argentines once more. Theo McFarlane now decides to run it himself. Eduardo Bello makes the tackle on him. Tamatina goes back to Liliafano, going for the low grubber kick rather than the height. Taken at the back by Carreras. Now we'll put the ball high once again. And with the slippery ball, mark taken by Liliafano. We've got there rugby time. This game will be a tough one, I think, supporting Samoa, says the Chica. And also Hamish score prediction. So I actually went with 31 points to 29. I thought it was going to be a very high scoring one. That is before I knew that it was going to be raining. But yeah, I'd like to think that the second half is starting to become a little bit more free-flowing for the two sides. They'll be used to the rain. Also, when those gaps start to open up due to fatigue, that is when these two sides really know how to score tries. But Argentina's still one of only 2 teams to not concede a try as of yet in the Rugby World Cup competition. Samoa's fire will get higher second half, says David. Now Julian Montoya throwing the ball in. Nicely taken there by Guido Pitti. Sending this one to the right. Birrano. Pass him on to Mateo Carreras. Pressure being put on in the breakdown by Fritzley. He's a physical man, although it was slapped back by the Samoans illegally. Another penalty goes the way of Los Pumas. I think Argentina by 16, says Andres. A Zimbabwean-born player has been seen representing South Africa, USA, Australia, Italy, Scotland, to name a few, says Sean. And also, if it's serious, though, so maybe less than 6 weeks, says George. And how's the weather looking like for tomorrow in France? I'm not actually too sure about what the weather's like for... Hang on, what's going on here? Are they taking on the 3 points here for Emiliano Boffelli? Or are they just getting the ball? I think they were just getting the ball. Is Ben Lam on for Samoa? I can't see him. He is. It's just we haven't seen him at all throughout this first half. Or at least I'm thinking he's supposed to be on the field. We've seen a little bit more of Nigel Awong. But, yeah, not a huge amount of Ben Lam as of yet. We've seen 4 penalties against Argentina compared to the 3 penalties against the Samoans. And also, was that his idea of a Big Mac meal? Says Ruth. And Samoa box kicking his paw, says Jimbo. Yeah, the kicking game in general at the moment probably has been where it's been hurting Samoa throughout this game. Santiago Chochaberez hits it up to the 22-metre line. Now Alemano. Couple extra metres being made for him. Eduardo Bello around the side of the breakdown with the pick and go. Nice bit of work there from Chris Vui, and I think it was Brian Alanausi considering going in. Helping out with that one as well. Oh, that was head contact between Paul Aluamele and Guido Pitti. Whether or not they check that one, we will have to wait and see. Come on, Samoa, you biscuits, says a bystander. And like I said, if they can keep Argentina from scoring again throughout this first half, that is going to be where their success comes in the second 40 minutes. But if Argentina have too much of a lead, it's going to be very hard for them to stop. Missed tackle there from Duncan Paiua. Now Argentina move inside of the 22 once more after 9 phases. Here comes Pablo Matera. And driven sideways by the Samoan defence. Flat pass across to Guido Petty. He's had about 3 carries throughout these 10 phases. Now running onto it nicely was Carreras. Trying to step there. Not quite finding the successful run that they were after. Ball pops out the back for Bertrano. Knock on from him. Reliafano cleans it up. And now Duncan Paiua looks to kick it down the field. Trying to get as many metres as he can. And it rolls into touch. 45 metres out from the Samoan line. We have got there, what a legend fight against cancer represents his country. That's going to be a massive run, though, for the Argentines. They decided to take it quickly, wanting to keep the front foot on the gas. Bertrano going across now to Carreras. Bit of a carry. Fumble there from Crema. Now Bertrano again. This is looking dangerous for Argentines. They've got the 2-on-1, but instead cutting inwards. It's Mateo Carreras. He loves scoring tries. Perhaps there, though, should have loved passing. Now 10 metres from the line. Another advantage for Argentina. 6 metres from the try line. Theo McFarlane did get in the breakdown and now going back for another penalty. A nice one, Mumbo Jumbo, says Modi. That was a big yawn. Although saying that, it is currently in the morning here. We have got there, Vamos Los Pumas, says Victor. What is the first ever World Cup you watched? The only World Cup game I actually remember watching before the 2019 World Cup was probably the 2015 final between New Zealand and Australia, with Beauden Barrett scoring that last-minute try and the commentators all just cheering for him. I think, that, to be honest, other than that, I can't remember too many World Cups. I hardly remember the last World Cup as well. We have got a donation from Tim. Thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciated. This is a super sticker in there. And on that super sticker, we do see a thank you from a peer. Thank you very much, Tim. Hugely appreciate that. Kick is successful from Argentina after getting another penalty in their favour. Now making the score 13 points to 3 for the Pumas. Hey, Hamish, how's things, mate? Says him, doing very well. It's been a busy weekend with all the games taking place at random hours here in New Zealand, but a couple big ones just around the corner, of course. South Africa, they will be taking on the Irish tomorrow morning. That is going to be an absolutely epic clash between those two sides. According to their fans, both are hot favourites. All the talk is about them in bomb squads. Andy Farrell and Paul O'Connell will love this, says Porter Porter. And also we have got their every game Samoa's had that they always show up in the second half, said Dwayne. And to be honest, that was the trend throughout the Pacific Nations Cup as well. I think if Samoa are going to go far in this competition, they will have to make sure that they put together more 80-minute performances. But if they are able to still win games in the second half, of course, they will well and truly take that. Hey, Ash, what school did you go to, bro? Says I'm Giant. I didn't really go to like a well-known school. It was just a local high school. We're only in a small town with 4,000 people. We didn't even have a first 15 team. We could have had like a first 8 team because I think we had about 8 rugby players at the school. But, yeah, no first 15, no first 11 for cricket. Just like a few people popping in and out. If we were playing sevens, we might have been all right. We have got there, George, there's some back. That's some back on that car. And also we have got there, and the Fairies of Ireland are in Neverland. South Africa Bach all the way, says Goldberg, and watching from Australia, Sydney, cheers. My Samoa, it's 2:23 a.m. over here, says YouTube user, so it is hugely appreciated you being up all throughout the night. I'm sure Samoa, they'll be loving the support for their side, but now they have got a good attacking chance. Leleafano kicks the ball away. The penalty does go the way of the Samoans, though. From Fiji, just woke up to listen to your commentary. Go Samoa, says a YouTube user. That's too much water isn't good for you, Hamish. Once in a while, the body needs beer or spirits, says Victor. And also, evening, mate. Are you doing well, Hamish? Says Scott, certainly am. And Sevens team surely, says Frank. Although that was probably like Oh, they're taking on the shot here. Yeah, that was back before sevens really became like a popular thing in schoolboy rugby. Like, I think they had 5-a-side. That was one thing that they did do, stick 8 sheep in the pack. They probably would have been better than our team that we had at our high school as well if you had sheep on there rather than people. Problem with South Pacific teams is discipline, so much talent, says Azza. And also Vamos, says Adogo in there as well. But this will close the gap just that little bit more between these two sides as we get towards the halftime whistle. Listening from Samoa, thanks for the update. Says Lily, no worries at all. We are going to be covering Samoa's next game that they have got next week up against Japan. It's going to be absolutely awesome to see how they match up. Definitely because we've seen those two sides play in the Pacific Nations Cup. Keep Argentina out of the 22 zone. Their mauling tactic is dangerous, says Apati. Liliafano, 30 metres out. Little bit of an angle out to the right-hand side, but nothing too serious. Should be an easy enough kick. Oh, he's missed it. Again for Liliafano, that is 6 points now that the Samoans have been unable to get. And the problem lies in the fact that if they had gone for the corner, perhaps could have walked away with a few more points on the board so far. We have good come on Samoa. Says Goldberg and Samoa needs a try before the halftime whistle. And the point has Johnny Sexton's pajamas. Says DPG. It's a bit of a weird thing to own, isn't it? Now Christian Liliafano. Now kicks the ball up high, chasing this one. It is Nigel Wong. Doesn't get to it in time, but does put in a big hit. In the process, 6 Samoan players going straight over. No, you can't do that. That was Santiago Carreras playing the ball in an offside position. That was actually relatively cynical from him. When he saw that there was the counter ruck from the Samoans, he decided to grab the ball while he was still on the ground, shutting down the Samoan chance straight away. Right, they have to kick for the corner here. If you're Samoa, Liliafano's boots just not quite doing the job. The crowd now give the cheer. So they're happy to see that Samoa looking for a try right at the end of this first half. I say DuPont is out for the rest of the World Cup, says Connie. Yeah, it does look that way at the moment. If he's extremely lucky, he might be back by like the final if they do make it that far. France and come on Samoa, says Evan. Hey, Aaron says not your everyday cultures. Welcome in, mate. What is the reason the Box can't wear their traditional green and gold for the Island game? Says Sean Lees. I believe it's to do with the colourblind colours side of things, how it's a little bit too similar. I still think that like those two kits, in terms of the tinge of the green or the like kind of shades of the green, they should have been fine. Definitely because Ireland are a slightly lighter green for this World Cup than they have been in the past. But yeah, they have made that change. To be honest, I think that Ireland's white kit will almost overlap more with Ireland's green home kit. That is going to be a lot of pressure now on Argentina. The ball was loose, but it was cleaned up by Los Pumas, who had to take it back into their in-goal area. It's great work from Guido Petty, though, to slap that ball out of the hands of Samoa. And we have got there, a Box can't even win the jersey game against Ireland, says M. We have got there, Amish colourblind people can't make that it, says DPG. And also come on Samoa, says YouTube user. And if South Africa lose to Ireland tomorrow, I'll blame the kit, says bystander. Now, 5 metres from the line. Someone asked who the referee is going to be. I believe it's Ben O'Keefe for that upcoming game between between Ireland and South Africa. I feel bad for him because either way, whoever wins the opposition team is going to give him a huge amount of stick. And it was bad enough that he got that throughout the Chiefs and Crusaders Super Rugby Pacific final. And I think it's going to be even worse in there. The front rows have gone down. It's going to be another reset here. A little bit of push and shove. Here we go. Marcos Crema. I mentioned that man's temper is about as long as about the shortest thing ever. Oh, Damatino trying to fire up. I think that was Matthias Alimano as well. And Box 25 Island 19 who's with me, says George there. And Go Samoa, says Vanessa May. Well, fun fact, ladies and gentlemen, in 20 seconds, we have got half-time in this fixture, and what will be coming out in about 20 seconds is actually our South Africa versus Ireland preview. So if you guys want something to watch at half-time before the second half gets underway, I will put a link in the chat so you guys can go and watch that video if you do want to. Who's refereeing the Wales, or where's the referee from Fiji-Wales game? He actually refereed the game between France and Namibia, and to be honest, I'm glad that he did that game rather than a big one because he had a shocker there again. A get up Samoa, says David. Now, big chance here for Samoa. Big spanking coming from Jonathan Tamatine to his front row. Samoa can score now. It would be a similar time to when they did score up against Chile in their last game. Ball comes out the back, Tamatine. The ball has gone loose. Looks like Juan Martin Gonzalez. They're going to actually try a counter-attack here for Los Pumas. Mateo Carreras just stays in the field of play, and rather than putting this ball into touch, that's a new advantage to Argentina. Nice run from Thomas Gasho. Makes about 30 extra meters in the process there by the time he is dragged down. Now knock on from Argentina, and it will now be going back for the penalty in their favour. Come on, Samoa, win so we can have another parade, says Asoa there. Also, we have got there Issei pushing, says Bluesnat, go Samoa, says YouTube user. And also, there is the only one team in green, and we even had St. Pat, who got rid of all the staffer. I think that's supposed to be, is that supposed to be Safa? Steaks? Or snakes, sorry. The ball knocked out of the hand of Jonathan Tamatine. Just didn't quite get it right. But now Argentina, they have decided that they do want to attack for just that little bit longer here, rather than going into the changing sheds. The ball has been cleaned with soap again, says Calmac. Yeah, it's very slippery out there at the moment. Sounds like Argentina is solid in defence. Well, they have not been able to score any tries, or had any tries scored against them, throughout this Rugby World Cup. That has gone into touch, though, and that will now be halftime between these two sides, ladies and gentlemen. The score currently sitting 13 points to 3. I cannot go against the spear and the bones, says Goldberg in halftime. And second half, the Argentines will walk over them, says Azzo. Although, second half is normally when we see Samoa actually play their better rugby throughout games of this Rugby World Cup so far, as well as in the Pacific Nations Cup. That is normally when they start firing up that little bit extra, start looking very strong. I want that fun fact tomorrow, mate, says Chronic. And also, we're there, can South African back count to 10, says M. Normally, yeah, they normally score more than 10. In that case, we've got a new channel member as well. It is I Am Giant. Thank you very much. That in that membership button, hugely appreciated. You now have access to exclusive emojis, one of which has my face going like this, which is great because that's a face that I make often. In fact, here it is, up in the top corner. Why are my eyes so far to the side? They're like that. Is that the right way? I can't tell if my eyes are facing the right way, but that is the face up in the top corner. That actually looks like I could have taken that photo yesterday. To be honest, that was like 2 years ago. Fun fact. We've also got this one, which is how one of the two fan bases of Ireland versus South Africa will be feeling tomorrow. Had to do it. I do apologise. Samoa will be kicking themselves, and also the Hamish emoji from Sebastian there. And Samoa now needs to score first after the break. If you're Irish, come into the parlour. There will be a big welcome there for you, says Porter. That sounds very nice. Sounds like a nice, warm welcome. And also free D, Samoa, discipline, defence, and tackles, says Blues Nate in there as well. And Samoa always play stupid, and you think in this day and age they could make a ball that wasn't slippery when wet. Although saying that, like, I would have thought, never mind. I was going to make a statement about like wet floor signs, and I was going to say surely by now they've worked out how to dry the floor so that they don't have to have that slippery when wet, like wet floor sign down, but it's an extra job, isn't it? I've got there the Hamish emoji from JP. OMG, you're too funny, says La Chica there. How do you guys rate Hamish's performance today versus yesterday, says M. Ooh, curious to know. I feel like today I'm in a bit more of a weird mood, so that's probably working in my favour. Tomorrow's night chat's going to be crazy? Yup. Very crazy indeed. I'm off to get grub. I'm not watching the stupid halftime advert, says Ask. Well, if you want something else to watch, ladies and gentlemen, I do not mind. If you want to pop away for a little bit of time, come back in around 10 minutes when the second half does get back underway. What we will be doing during this break, though, is looking through at some of the stats for that first half. I just typed in Rugby World Rugby rather than Rugby World Cup. The brain is in go slow today. I almost like you're expecting people to ask or to be asked to work, says Sebastian. True. Like, some people, you can do the bare minimum, get away with it. They do that. Easy peasy. We'll go to the match center. There we go. But if anyone does want to see any of the preview that we did for South Africa versus Ireland, here is a link, ladies and gentlemen, to that video. I think that's the link. I hope that's the link. If it's not the link, then I don't know what video I've just sent you to. But be sure to check that out. Give it a watch through. Give me your score prediction on that video as well. You have got time to watch that entire video before the second half gets underway, because these half times normally about 10 to 15 minutes. We will just be looking through stats while it is away. I watched one of your old uploads where you play a rugby game, New Zealand versus England, with your two mates, commentator in the making scene there. Says bystander, that was a frustrating game. That was the one that we lost in the final moments, wasn't it? And then everyone left. Like, the thing is, it looked like for the video, they were just annoyed. They were actually annoyed. Like, everyone left my house after we lost that game. Hamish needs a scotch on the rocks. South Africa come on Samoa. And also we have got there Ricochet Dupont. Makes a seismic shift for some teams. Says Mumbo Jumbo Kiwi, and also the Hamish emoji there from I Am Giant. Looks very good indeed. And Box by 20 says Jacques, and Ireland by 30 says M. Okay. So those predictions might be a little bit more one-sided than I did in that video. And vamos Samoa, Coma Argentinos. And tomorrow we're going to give Sexton a very hard time. Just ask Russell, says George. And looking through at some of the stats. In fact, first we'll look through at match leaders for this matchup. Emiliano Boffelier's got the most points out of any player out there on the field with 13, which is actually more than Samoa have at the moment. Fun fact, that was maths. Sailala Lamb, 12 tackles made throughout this game up to this point. Mateo Carreras, he has had the most running meters with 59, and most successful carries crossing the gain line. It is actually Mateo Carreras as well. Why hasn't these games been shown on TV like it used to be, says Wayne? That is a very good question. I was pretty sure that this game was going to be on TVNZ Plus here in New Zealand. I was very disappointed to see that it wasn't, because they did the games of the Pacific Nations Cup for Samoa, and it makes no sense that they didn't do the games here in the Rugby World Cup as well. What was the name of the Samoan wing? Centre who played 14 for the Hurricanes a few years back, before he now plays for the Stormers every now and then. Samoan winger, played 14 for the Hurricanes a few years back, plays for the Stormers. See, all I can think of is a whole heap of South African wingers. But no, I can't think of it off the top of my head. Unfortunately, I keep on thinking Ben Lamb, of course, because he's playing in this game. Or is it Ben Lamb? No, does he play for the Stormers though, or does he play for the Bordeaux side? Money and Right, says McCallum. Let's go, Manu, you can do it, says Bolvi. And all the games are free in Scotland, says Calmac. And also we have got there Alapati Leula. Oh, is that who it is? And most penalty kicks, says Azza. We will show, or we will tell some statistics. That was almost a word. Samoa, they have only had 54 running meters throughout that first half compared to the 228 of Argentina. They have been able to beat two defenders compared to the 16 that we have seen beaten by the Argentines. Every stat in this game says that Argentina should be a lot more ahead, but they are only 10 points up at the moment. So I feel like that is something that Samoa will slightly pride themselves on, the fact that they were up against it, but still able to hang in the contest for just enough. Territory and possession both in favour of Argentina. Samoa only getting the ball 37% of the time throughout that first half. And it's going to be very important for the Samoans to try and find a little bit more of the ball now. Territory in the last 10 minutes, we actually did see 73% in favour of Samoa. So they're starting to fire up a bit more as this game wears on, which is actually the trend that they've had throughout their Pacific Nations Cup, as well as, of course, the warm-up games for the Rugby World Cup. They also free in in France and Ireland. And Samoa to win, power and creativity, says KP in the chat. Yeah, as well, one moment, we will go like this, like that, and like that. We're going to look at the odds for the second half, because Argentina, of course, will come in as favourites going into that second half. Samoa flirting with the offside line on every move, says Raymond Goddard. And I don't think they're going to get away with it too much. I feel like the ref will be watching very closely, making sure they don't sneak up there. But we did see the fastest yellow card in this Rugby World Cup competition. In fact, probably the fastest yellow card in any Rugby World Cup. 34 seconds, I believe it was. What happened to Sopawanga? They have left him out for this game. I'm not sure if that's due to injury or just due to wanting to give D'Angelo Leula a chance off the bench. So Samoa, they come in as 10% likely to win this game, 88% likely that Argentina walk away with the victory, and 2% likely that we do end up seeing a draw. We've just seen the one try throughout this game so far, and that was Emiliano Boffelli. He has scored every point for the Argentines throughout that first half. We have got their 2007 winners was South Africa and France hosted that tournament. Says Morne Lagrange. And if Ireland lose tomorrow, then it's Scotland it's Scotland next going to be interesting, says George. And Scotland have got themselves Tonga for their next game. Up the Waz, says Sue. Of course, they are going to be playing a little bit later on tonight up against the Broncos. I really want to watch that game, but I really don't want to jinx the Warriors because they've gone all right when I haven't watched them, when I've only been watching the replays of their games. But when I actually watch them, they normally lose. So I have to make a big decision of whether or not I watch that game live or whether I instead wait and watch the replay. Hope they go all right. But looking through at the rest of the games that we have got on this round, ladies and gentlemen, Georgia versus Portugal, that is taking place tomorrow at midnight New Zealand time. England versus Chile is going to be there at 4:45 a.m. And then after that, South Africa versus the Irish. That is a massive clash. We will be covering that one on the channel as well. Then we've got the two games on Monday morning. 4:45 a.m. Scotland versus Tonga, and then Wales versus Australia will be the other matchup that does take place. With the second half not too far away from getting back underway, ladies and gentlemen, here, jam sessions time, says Bluesnay, and Lima has a calf injury, says Raymond. So yeah, hopefully nothing too serious for that man. Daylight saving in New Zealand. I know that daylight saving is very soon, but I don't know when. 24th of September. Starts every year at 2 a.m. Okay. So even though those games said at the likes of 8 a.m., that is actually a 7 a.m. normal start time if you are elsewhere. So that will be a 9 p.m. in South Africa or an 8 p.m. in Ireland. We have got there, don't mess with the spear plus bones, says Goldberg. And 24th September Rose says as a and there as well. I'm curious, though, to know why the Georgia versus Portugal game is actually an hour earlier or an hour later, depending on how you look at it, than it would normally be. We have got there Tagitha Kipau as the other Islander for the Stormers years ago. And Watsy Matilda says Chronic there. And Dan Sheehan to come on at 60. Better the scrum, South Africans we scrum. And score 2 tries from when he doodles over the line to win. Powers past South Africans on the wing. Says DPG, and Screw, Spear, and Bones. Says John there. Second half just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. Like I mentioned, anyone who does want to see the video that we did just actually post 13 minutes ago, there is the link. That is our South Africa versus Ireland preview. Anyone who does want to give that a bit of a look. We have got there Hamish. Gareth wants to post a link to a famous or an Irish famine song. Can we? Says Sebastian. I think that might cause a bit of fire up in both fan bases there, Sebastian. Not yet. Maybe at the end of the game, we'll go with it. And also, no, they are not yet. Notice that without Hog. Says Porter, maybe don't watch the Warriors till after the finals. Says I am Giant. Yeah, it may be best. At the end of the day, they go all right when I don't watch. When I do watch, they sometimes play well, but then other times they go quite rough. Please explain daylight saving. What exactly is it? So pretty much it's to do with when we get to a certain time of year, the sun comes up a little bit earlier, or it gets lighter earlier, or gets darker later. So because of that, they adjust the time by an hour so that you're still kind of in tune with the timing, if that makes sense. So it's just so that you have slightly longer evenings, I think. I'll be honest, I just change the clock and go, okay, that's what we'll go with. But when you think about it, what is it really? I'm off, guys. I enjoyed it. Here as always tomorrow, I'm very excited and looking forward to tomorrow's game. Good luck, Irish fans, and enjoy the game tomorrow. Cheers, guys, says George there. And okay, says Sebastian. And also we have animals on our side, rhinos, elephants, lions, and leopards. South Africa spear plus bones, says Goldberg. So you're stealing the bones from the animals, Goldberg, and spearing them, I think is what you are referring to there. Slaughtering the animals, the poor things. No. And daylight savings is you can drink longer and sleep less. Says Azza. And also we have got there Aiden says Argentine. Scott, my friend, says Samoa in the country. Irish, South Africa, says Aiden Butler. And Christian Cullen was a beast. It's called compromise time for the workers. Says Modi and Samoa need some more. Yeah, that's the thing. They haven't been able to score themselves a try throughout that first half. But the big thing is second halves from the Samoans in recent games have actually been the more clinical. Argentina still yet to concede a try throughout this Rugby World Cup competition. And yeah, come on Samoa, says him there. That man wearing a Samoan Rugby League kit. Whereas the live match says God's Nightly Upbeat. If you go onto the Rugby World Cup website, you will be able to see the options of where to watch and then you will be able to catch it live over on there. Why don't they have enclosed arenas for the World Cup? Says the New Age. I mean, yes, it would be ideal so that we don't have to deal with any of the rain, but it's also one of those ones that I guess you just have the natural conditions that play a little bit of factor in these contests that are not the Springboks, South Africa. Go Samoa. Who wants to listen to live commentary? Rubbish if you can actually watch it, says God Nightly Upbeat. That's why I told you where you can watch it. You know, that's the best option. But some people do actually listen to us while the game's going on. This is so irritating going to links to watch the match and you got to get this commentary stuff. Like I said, go onto the Rugby World Cup website. I don't know whether or not I need to talk slower. That might help. Rugby World Cup website, where to watch. Boom. You have an option. My brother Anthony is in Paris. He's been living in Brisbane 15 years. We love Ruggers. Thanks, Kiwi guys. Says Aiden, just get past Argentina and England. Should be easy for Samoa. Just tell Samoa, loving the commentary. Says Sean Lees, who has the most penalty kicks overall. Ooh. That's a good question. I'm not actually sure of the overall for the World Cup stats. Gareth Smashed and Boss, says Sebastian. Oh, we were having fun with him. Tell you what, we're gonna use our authority as the second half gets back underway. We're gonna unhide him, give him a bit more time in the spotlight, just in case. Making a call here, Samoa held tryless, says SGT. The ball is as greasy as Nick Berry's hair, says Duncan there. And also Shadow Zone with the Muppets, says Gareth. And 23 South African men arrested in Paris for impersonating a rugby team, says DPG. It's just not the best one, is it? Because like they're currently quite good, aren't they? Sorry, next time, says Gareth. Immediately falls bliss, yeah, and game started again, says the New Age. It certainly has. 1 minute in at the moment, and Argentina have got themselves another chance here. 45 metres out from the line. It looks like Paul Alawamile may have some sort of injury. The game will continue while he is down. Irish is in a bollocking mood. I love it, says Sebastian. And sorry, Irish shot struggling today, says DPG. No, it's understandable. There's been a lot of emotion put into this game by both fan bases, and I feel like now we're almost at that stage how we're getting very close to, like, in 24 hours' time, we are almost there. We have got there, start the fire, Samoa. Come on, boys, says David. Ball loose. Samoa have dropped that one. I think that was Duncan Paioa. He probably needs to make his way off the field because I don't think he's done too much right throughout the first 41 minutes. But it is cleaned up by Samoa. Now back in their favour. Tamatina, a little bit of a counter-ruck there from Pablo Matera. FYI, Argentine women love Kiwis. Says Azza, sounds like I need to go to Argentina. Now nicely taken on the halfway line from Emiliano Boffelli. We have got there, don't the French have massive blow dryers on the field, says Goldberg. No, not normally. No, I don't think the budget extends that because rugby is going broke. But now it's going to be nicely cleaned up at the back by Theo McFarlane. A lot of pressure on him there, 22 metres out, and they will go back for it once more. Ireland World Cup exiting the pool ends tomorrow. South Africa and Scots go through. Ireland psych destroyed tomorrow, says Denver. Irish can be such a proper princess, says DPG. Nah. I think it's just from doing so many years of doing the YouTube side of things that I have lost my... Like, I don't think I have a soul anymore. I think I'm a robot and I just kind of forget about emotions. Other than, like, I always am happy, which is good. That sounded like I was getting real soppy for a second there, like I was going to cry about being happy. But, you know, it's good enough, you know. Life, that is. Samoa kicking is terrible. It hasn't been good in this game, unfortunately, for them. But the ideal factor here is the fact that they're still only 10 points down. So if they can score themselves a try, that's all they need. And then they'll be right back into it. But they've actually won more scrums than the Argentines, so that is one thing that they are sitting ahead of them in for the stats department. I'm off to the pub tomorrow to watch the Springboks Island game tomorrow. Sorry, dude. I'm not going to be listening to your commentary, says Gary. No worries at all. Be sure to enjoy it. At the end of the day, it's going to be an atmosphere no matter where you watch that game. I'm sure a real person, don't worry, says him there. And also, box too big, too good, says Moasupi. Ball is available at the back of the scrum for the Samoans. Going to the left-hand side now. They've gone with a grubber in behind. Good chase from Christian Leleofano. That was actually a nice play from Samoa. Saw the space in behind and made the most of it. In fact, it wasn't Leleofano because he has now got the ball. Oh, he's dropped it. He's given it back, and it's a penalty to Argentina. Right. D'Angelo Leula needs to come on the field. Duncan Paiua, he needs to be off the field as well. And they need to make that replacement ASAP. I feel like Leleofano in this game just hasn't quite found his rhythm either. We have got the Ask the Cricket Gurus. They keep moisture at bay, says Goldberg. And also Samoa move up, says David. And Argentine handling errors slowly catching up to their score, says Blues Nate. Who have they got off the bench, Samoa, at 23? I think it's Danny Tuala, so that works. If they do want to make those two changes. And to be honest, I don't think it would be a bad idea. D'Angelo Ula making his way onto the field at 10, and then having Danny Tuala at number 23. You could also argue to a certain extent, you could make the change of Malani Matavao, get him out there with a bit of X factor from his 7 side of things. We have got there, yes they are. It's the old guy playing bad, says the new age. We're now rolling more here for Argentina. They are getting close. That's going to be the penalty advantage against Theo McFarland. He puts his hands up like he's being arrested, but damage was done. Oh, bit of a shepherding run there from Los Pumas. 20 metres from the line now, going off to the left-hand side. Short flat pass to Emiliano Boffelli. It's tripped over. Olapano Jr. Saltini. They'll go back for the original penalty. I'm back Friday night, says Stretch. And also Island fans and team's toughest decision tomorrow. We want to have after we win kebab or pizza, says DPG. Oh, I think I'll take both, to be honest. Samoa have wasted every opportunity against an underpar Argentina, says Robinson. Very true. Nick Berry. Okay. They are going to take the one close to the touchline. Ow. I should mention I didn't hurt myself from sneezing. I hurt myself from the sore muscles from pouring concrete that you realise you have once you've poured concrete. And Samoa have wasted... Oh, no, I read that one. Come on, Samoa, 685. The Pumas, says Spice. And also, we have got there, hit the like button, rugby fans. Anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We have got plenty more Rugby World Cup coming just around the corner, and we are also on the road to 34,000 subscribers. So, if you do want to help us out, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I wish you that skinny a kebab will kill you, says TVG. That is the risk I am willing to take if it means that I get a massive kebab. Now 5 metres out from the line, Julio Montoya at the back. This is starting to move a little bit closer to the try line. I don't see the ball now. I do. It's back at the back for the Argentines. Samoa defending well, managing to shut it down twice through the middle for Argentina though. Within a metre. Okay, Nick Berry has then said the maul has happened. He's then picking on by himself. then it's a mess. So we're going to have a scrum reset 5 metres out from the line for Argentina. Argentina won't mind that one bit. That was going to be a lot easier than getting that last ball out. And I think Nick Berry's trying to explain it now to Samoa. They're slightly giggling at him. That was just weakness leaving your body, Hamish, says Kerno Wick. And also, girlfriend told me this morning she's going off the booze, so will drive me to the pub for real. All the rugby games, or for all the rugby games to drive me home. Happy days, says DPG. Sounds like you found yourself a keeper. Well, the sounds of it. We'll be enjoying a braai tomorrow, spear plus bones. Have respect for your elders, says Goldberg. Are you going to be braaiing more than just the bones, though, Goldberg? Hopefully you have a bit of meat in there as well. Right. Gonzalo Bertrano to put the ball in again for the Argentines. 5 metres out. That's gone down on the far side. Nick Berry's gone, I don't care anymore. Just play it. He was about to blow his whistle. Decided against it. Emiliano Boffelli. Oh, he got throat chopped. That looks like it could be a bad advantage. Emiliano Boffelli staying down like he's had his larynx kind of rescinded inside his body. Is that the right wording? I feel like that was a whole heap of rubbish that I was just talking there, but they are still close to the line. Los Pumas. What does rescinded mean? Now close to the line. New advantage for the Argentines, and it will go back for the penalty for the high shot. They may check this one. We have got there. We need try, says Mikhail. It is off the ball to the head. It's going to be penalty only. That wasn't Ben Lamb. Who would that man? That was not Ben Lamb, though. They were showing the number 11. What happened to Ben Lamb? He was in the starting lineup. Did they have a late change? I actually think they did. Because that wasn't Ben Lamb. That was some other bloke. Rescinded, taken back. I think he meant receded. Maybe, yeah. Need to do more crosswords, don't I? Rescind means to cancel and revoke, says bystander. Yeah, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Be sure not to rescind from doing so. Is that good? And Argentina 18, Samoa 13. Emiliano Boffelli didn't like getting it. Oh, it was Ben Lamb. He is there. They weren't showing him, though, in the replay. Can't believe Hamish has never heard of the word rescinded. I've used that word before, but I've probably used it wrong, to be honest. I don't remember. I do YouTube. I'm not like a scientist or nothing. That's gonna be. Oh, it's a penalty now. Christian Lealiifano looks like he's been knocked out. He's gone again, so it's going to be no try for Argentina. This kind of feels bad because I said about subbing Christian Lealiifano. I didn't want him to get injured, though, for why he was going to get subbed. Argentina hopeless against England, says Robinson. It's okay to smash the English language sometimes, says Sean. But that's an ugly landing for Christian Lealiifano. I believe he was knocked out straight away. Emiliano Boffelli disappointed with that one. Be careful, we have some wild animals for pets. However, come on, Samoa. We need some spirit going. And I hope Christian okay, but they need to sub him out. Says the new age. A reskinned means, yeah, mate. Don't know about processing cattle. Wait, reskinned. What happened to rescind? Like the one that we were using. That's a massive hit. It's actually not Lealiifano. It was actually Olapano Junior Saltini in this case. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. They both had the headgear on. It was the all black headgear, though. I think Nick Berry's just said, guys, what do you want to do? But it's the penalty in their favour. Felly's looking like he's walking a little bit gingerly. At the moment, some big shots coming in. We have got the as appear to say Argentina are struggling here. I expect a higher score margin by now, says Sean. I would say so. I think that Samoa, even though they are down by 10, if they can find their rhythm in the later stages of this match, they can get back into it. And I honestly feel like there is a try just around the corner for them. And if they do get that one just around the corner, like Argentina look very close to scoring as well, though. That's the big thing for the Samoans, but somehow they've been able to survive just that little bit longer. There you go, Argies, says Colin there. And Argentina 16 to the 13 of Samoa. Is it his shoulder or his head? Says Nick Berry. The fact that he doesn't know that a player was knocked out on the field makes me quite concerned. A shot has been raining. Has made attacking hard. 2 Tongans, 2 Fijians, and a Samoan. Yep, heard this one. Barman says, well done on your selection for the All Blacks Rugby World Cup squad, lads. Says DPG. And hi, Irish. Hi, all, says Di. Welcome in. I want the Bok to win. Before I close my eyes, South Africa, if Ireland are in the final, we'll probably cheer for them. South Africa, says Goldberg. Olapano Junior Saltini, after being knocked out, will be making his way from the field now. D'Angelo Leula makes his way out there. Slam them some more. Come on, boys, says David Richards. The big man D'Angelo Leula had some brilliant performances for Waikato in the Bunnings NPC. Leafano now puts the ball in touch, and that probably stops the chance of Leafano actually getting subbed in this game due to that head knock. Unless, of course, they were to go with Danny Tawal and leave Duncan Paiua out there on the field. And good man, says Azza. 1 year and 8 views. Says Blues Nate. So we go there. Come on, Samoa. Ireland is going to beat the Box. Then Ireland will get knocked out by New Zealand, says David. That was not straight from Samoa. It's hurt them again. The little things at the moment in the game is what is heavily costing them. Berry. Going to be the scrum. What time is the South African game, Hamish, says Morty? So for South African time, I believe it is 9 p.m. South African time that one will be taking place. I think a draw in this game and an England win against Chile puts England through, says Akaris. And seem to be struggling to score a slow game, says Roof. Yeah, it certainly hasn't been the high-scoring affair that I was hoping it would be between these two sides. What is the weather like in this game? It is raining, so it has made quite a bit of slipperiness out there on the field. Too many mistakes, says Jimbo. Yeah, I think both sides will go out of this game thinking we could have done a lot better throughout the 80 minutes. Still 30 minutes, though, to be able to finish the job. We'll mention anyone who is new to the channel. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. At the moment, we are 3 away from 33,900. So if you do want to help us out, be sure to hit that subscribe button. A really rough-looking scrum there, but Argentina, the ball has popped back into their favour. Emiliano Boffelli, nice carry forward, tackled by Tamua Manu. Now, a little chip in behind. I think that was Juan Matan Gonzalez who's done the kick, and it's actually not too bad. One Duncan Paiua, great tackle made on him by Mateo Carreras. Thought he had more time than he did, and the penalty goes the way of Argentina, very heavily considering taking that one quickly. Carreras. In New Zealand, I says Mori, so it is going to be a 8 a.m. start here in New Zealand for that match. And Boomers have started stuttering. Come on, less mistakes, Argentina. Yes, right. But Duncan Paiua just making the mistake there, just waiting and allowing the Argentine to tackle him. It was as if he thought he was just going to skip around him like nothing happened. But instead what happened is he's tackled low, tried to recycle the ball. It was a 3-on-1 for Nigel Awong up against the Pumas, who looked hungry to try and get into that breakdown. Slapped back by Argentina, cleaned up by Santiago Carreras. But this is another great chance for them to get themselves another try in this contest. Berrano going across now. Short ball from Juan Matan Gonzalez off to Crema. You have some sleep after the same-ish, says YouTube user. Yeah, we are on a weird sleep schedule at the moment. I think it's just my body adjusting because we have been kind of doing more of a northern hemisphere time zone recently, but then also still mixed in with the southern hemisphere time zone because we've been working during the week as well. So it's been a bit of a muddle for the week. That is going to be another offside advantage against the Samoans. Now Berrano going off to the left-hand side. Bounce pass, knock on from Juan Matan Gonzalez. They'll go back for the penalty once more. There you on from on the fly, and this is going to be the double blow of the whistle. This might be the final warning for the Samoans here before someone ends up going to the bin. It's 5:04 a.m. in New Zealand. Says as it is indeed. You need to wake up tequila, mate, says on the fly, and backed Pumas to win by 10, but Hart really wants Samoa to win, says Peter Wild. And someone get Hamish a coffee, please, says I'm Giant. I've got water, which should be able to do the job. I'll be going to bed around lunchtime New Zealand, I think, so that'll be another about 7 hours from now before we do go to bed. What's your day job, Hamish? I work as a builder. So on Friday morning, I ended up doing that live stream for Italy versus Namibia. Oh, sorry, Italy versus Uruguay. And then straight from there, we did our post-match review. Did we? Or we actually edited a different video, sorry. Got that up and then went straight to pour concrete. Which is why if I lift my arms, it hurts quite badly. 5:04 AM, also in Fiji, says YouTube user. And also Samoa can't afford any yellow cards, exactly right. Luckily for them, they have avoided one there. We have got there, that's so dumb. Here's George. And also stupidity there. Simple mistakes, bad coaching and playing for Samoa. There goes another wasted World Cup. Fiji only hope for smaller Pacific nations. And once you've seen one rugby joke, you've seen them all. Yep. That was a better one though, DPG. Now the sore muscles from mixing concrete makes sense there, Sean Lees. That kick has gone over from Argentina. Yeah, I don't really do too much else other than concrete mixing. Although on Wednesday we had cricket training as well, so maybe that could have woken up a few muscles that haven't been used for a few months, but nah, she'll be right. Normally sore muscles are a good thing, aren't they? That means that they're going to heal up. You spoke well for the builder, mate. I haven't heard any F words, says Moddy. Yeah, see, I'm only new in the building world, so, you know, it's probably it's kicked out on the full from Samoa. The boys are just putting together a terrible second half at the moment. You should have sore muscles more often, mate, says Derek. I think I will be having a lot more of them in the near future, mainly because we've been doing a lot of streaming throughout the nights, which then means we've been sleeping during the day. Hamish, have you ever worried when you're out on a date with a girl, she looks up your YouTube, sees your, these vids and walks out of the restaurant? Says M? Maybe. I mean, I don't really go around being like, I have a YouTube channel, look at this. When, like, I'm talking to women, or when I'm talking to anyone, really. But, yeah, if they ask, I'd tell them. And then they'd see that first video of us playing Rugby Challenge 4. And then I'll be like, right, I got this, Bill. See you later. And yes, Samoa will get lazy now, says Azza. And also very poor Samoa, says Robinson. And also the George emoji says, I am giant. Are you going to do commentary for the Cricket World Cup? We're thinking about it, although we have also received more copyright strikes from trying to do World Cups in cricket than we have for the Rugby World Cup. So if we do end up picking up the World Cup for the cricket, it would be after this Rugby World Cup is over. Currently 26 minutes remaining in this game. Both of these sides, I will be honest, have not looked their best. But the benefit is the game is not over yet. So I'm hoping the last 25 minutes we start to see some really nice play from these two sides. And perhaps it's those guys off the bench that will actually have that main impact. Samoa do not have a chance. Algorithm is showing us, says SGT. Yeah, so far throughout all of the matches of this Rugby World Cup, whoever leads at halftime goes on to win the game. And that is 100% accurate throughout the rest of the competition. Now offload there from Argentina. Did have a 10-point lead going into the second half. Go to Argentina, Hamish. The Argie Chicas are hot, says John there. Yeah, although Argentina's quite far away, isn't it? So it might be quite the travel. Although I do speak only a little tiny bit of Spanish. Not a huge amount, though. Samoa have been like warm cider so far. Maybe the subs can change it up, says Calmac. And I think that they are very close to making a few of those switches. You must be dreaming, talking as commentator when sleeping, Hamish, says Modi. I do sometimes sleep talk and do the commentary while I'm in bed. Not aware of doing so, but my mum, it was a while ago, she was like, who are you on the phone with at like 6 a.m.? I was like, no, I wasn't on the phone. And she was like, well, you're talking to someone about rugby. I went, oh, okay. Whoops. But then that probably explains why sometimes my voice doesn't come back for a few extra days. It's because I'm still doing games while I'm sleeping. Fire Justin Marshall, hire Hamish, says, hasn't Justin Marshall already lost his job for Sky Sports? He's with the Super Sport commentary team, I believe. The Samoan team leaders need to stand up now. Leaders need to be more vocal. Chance here for Argentina. Add 3 more points on the board. Emiliano Boffelli, that one has just gone away to the left-hand side, so the score will remain at 16 points to 3. And hey, mate, says Ashley Rudders there, and Bahumbug. You youngsters aren't tired, and you're always in shape. Try being 74 years old. When it's miserable even to push a lawnmower, zero sympathy, says Igor. Although, to be fair, my back is probably like about a 50-year-old's from sitting on this wooden chair for about 1,000 rugby commentary live streams. And honestly, Hamish, if you keep at this is your future. Keep at it, mate. I was only joking earlier, says him. And also, we can finally cheer about something, says the new age. Now, Pablo Matera holding the ball in one hand. That's brave, compared with how many handling errors we have seen throughout this match. But now Samoa Malolo goes across to Tamatini, who does drop the ball, offloads it up to Fritz Lee. Here we go. Chance for the Samoans in the second half. Tamatini goes across to D'Angelo Leula. Bit of a crash baller. He does get the chance. Samoa Malolo. In fact, it's going to be Charlie Faumuina. He was tackled a bit high from Marcos Crema. Referee says, I didn't see it. Now, backline movement starting to open up here for the Samoans. This has probably been their best phase play in quite some time. Territory so far throughout this game, 67% in favour of the Argentines. Are you good lad, mate? Sorry if I go too far. I don't think you went too far. I don't think you've said anything bad, have you? How many South African rugby fans does it take to change a light bulb? Both of them. Now. What's the point of bringing back previous All Blacks to play for the Island Nations? They sucked Tonga and Samoa. Kia ora, Hamish. Recently discovered your commentaries and means a lot. Massive thank you. Have you considered consistently thought one team will win? I switched from the All Blacks the day they announced their World Cup. I love them, but France have all the momentum to win. If the All Blacks play second or even first, I won't complain. How far do you think Le Bleu can go? And the All Blacks, I think that both of them have definitely got that quarterfinal spot secured. The semi-finals, it's going to be tricky for both of them to make it through, but if they do, I feel like they will be able to go far in the competition. It's just the fact that they'll be going head-to-head with Ireland and South Africa. Like, those are two massive games, two massive sides. It's going to be very intriguing to see how it goes. That pool, Ireland, Scotland, and South Africa is crazy, says the new age. Oh, mistake. Oh, Nick Berry almost. I think Nick Berry's just knocked out an Argentine player. Or not quite. It looks like Emiliano Boffelli's holding his backside or his lower back. Landed awkwardly. And then Pablo Matera's almost knocked himself out on Nick Berry's knee. Yeah, Nick Berry almost got a head to the balls there. It's a shot in the spine. It's a real awkward one for Emiliano Boffelli. It was after the whistle. It was as I was blowing the whistle, says Nick Berry. So that is not going to be a penalty against the Samoans. That angle we've just seen of Emiliano Boffelli getting his back rubbed down by the medics was quite a sight. Okay, so succeed in making your living doing rugby commentary, and then you'll be having to be working out at 6 a.m. or 11 p.m. because you're too busy, says Igor. But yeah, current schedule, it's a bit of a weird one because we do the rugby commentary during the night and we wake up and normally head to work at about 7 a.m. for the building. Come home. I only have to do half days at the moment, so that's ideal. Go to sleep early afternoon, get back up to the commentaries and the editing and everything like that. So it's a weird schedule, but at the moment we haven't burnt ourselves out as of yet. We have got there, Hamish, in the future, please consider displaying the pitch with the dots. Show what's happening as you do the commentary under the scoreboard, says Sean Lees. We have tried it in the past. I think I need to find one that isn't too far ahead, because that was the only thing that we found last time, was it was actually ahead of the commentary and the scoreboard. Hamish, tell us about the first game you commentated. Were you by yourself watching the game, says M. I think the first game that we did, that's a nice kick in behind, nicely cleaned up though, by Emiliano Boffelli. I think it was actually a part of the Rugby Championship, it might have been. Don't grab, says Nick Berry, only 2 metres out from the line. Pablo Matera. Nice bit of work from Argentina, though, to be able to clean that up after Samoa. We're hot on attack. Now with the big boot downfield. I see sunshine in the background, so the rain may have stopped. Maybe this is where we're going to get to see a little bit of extra chance, a little bit of extra play, open play. That's the word I was after, were the two words. Mixed concrete for hours. That gets complete respect from me, says Igor. And also we have got there, mate, who do you think will win the box in the Irish game and how much? I actually did a preview of that video, or of that match, not too long ago on the channel. It actually ended up or going up on the channel about 45 minutes ago. And in that one, I said it would be 17 points to 15, somewhere around there. All folk that mix concrete think they're hard. Says Carmack, I think the only thing that's hard when we mix it is the concrete. Not really myself. I'm just a stick, as you guys will know. Let's go Kiwi Lad, says Blues Nate. It is slightly unfortunate when you're carrying around wheelbarrows, though, that are heavier than yourself. But then that's not hard to do because I weigh piss all. Currently 20 minutes remaining. And Fozzie is doing what Rassi did last World Cup. He was playing his cards close to his chest, says Sean Lees. And also both sides lost their fizz, that flat gingerbread. Or sorry, my flat ginger beer has more fizz. It looks like there are going to be a few changes now made. Right. Taya Salimano going off the field. That'll be for Rubiolo. Currently Samoa, they are $26 underdogs. Concrete mixer might help, says YouTube user. Yeah, although depending on where you're pouring, sometimes, you know, you can park the concrete truck somewhere, but you can't get to where you need to be. So you got to barrel it just to give you a little bit more help. Put it in the right place. Hi from Argentine, Patagonian City. I hear you, says Ricardo. Hopefully you can hear me nice and clearly. Yesterday I had some microphone issues that caused a bit of a problem because it was trying to silence me. Or kicked for touch from Argentina. It will go out though. And now a line out for them on the halfway line. Bless, says Ricardo. And also it's like a cuckoo clock without the cuckoo, says Roof. Samoa needs some credit, says SGT. What's happening here? Nick Berry's just got his arms out for fun. Okay, he's trying to tell the players not to close the line out. Nicely claimed by Rubiolo. Already getting involved. They've been told to use it once already. Use it now. Julian, says Nick Berry, currently on the halfway line. And if Samoa want any chance in this game, they still need to get the ball back a little bit more than they've already had it. Thomas Gashaw. So Berrano considering going for the box kick. I'm melting away, says Blues Nate. Are you? What's the time at the moment? It's midnight, or a little bit later than midnight over there, isn't it, Nate? Is it quite warm? It's currently 3 degrees here. She's not too warm. If a shower of rain can do this to rugby, we need a new ball type, says Jimbo. And it's been talked about for a while about switching balls. And I think they did, and then it made it worse, which is quite a concern. Looks like they're going for a... Oh, no, not quite. I thought they were going for a drop kick there, Argentina. That would actually give them enough of a lead that they would need 2 tries back-to-back for the Samoans and something. Now nice backline movement going out to Santiago Chochaberez. Now Berrano going to the left-hand side. Argentina still with a couple pop passes. Thomas Gashaw, the big man at number 1, almost able to go right through. Little bit of a counter-ruck there from Tamua Manu. 10 phases in a row now, Samoa rushing up, which will leave gaps in their defence if they do get it slightly wrong. Nigel Awong holding him up there. It was called as a tackle and release, even though the player hadn't reached the ground. Now Carreras trying to go through. Great work from Tamua Manu to join the breakdown, and he wins the penalty for his side. I want to ram raid a shop and get this man a decent cheer. I would highly say don't do that. We do not recommend ram raiding or breaking the law in any way. Scott has gone to bed, thank you. Says Aiden, how can professional athletes be so slow at a professional level? No conditioning for Samoan forwards, says the New Age. But the thing is, like, Argentina, they still haven't been able to break the Samoan team down that much. We've seen 1 try being scored. I need about 21 more points to not wash the dishes, please, Samoa. Says G13. It's a brilliant kick downfield, though, from the Samoans. D'Angelo Leola can't quite believe where the ref has said that ball has gone out. But if they can score right now, they're still in with half a shot. They are $31 underdogs at the moment, Samoa. So they are not expected to win the last 15 minutes of this game. The Argentine supporters in attendance, they are still nervous to detect the release, says Audio. It looked a bit tight, I'll be honest. It looked like he didn't quite get to roll the way he would have liked. But Nick Berry throughout this game has been consistent in giving the penalties even when players have been in the breakdown. Now Guido Petti have been able to steal the ball back for Los Pumas. Samoa have to return fire down towards the 22. Now Juan Cruz Malia just needs Samoa to score a try, says Biopolo, or Biopelo, I should say. Nicely taken by Christian Liliofano. Good ball security from Samoa. Angelo Leola looking for his passing option. Going to the right-hand side, here comes Charlie Faumuina. I think Samoa, territory-wise, just haven't had the best game line success. Nice sell at dummy from D'Angelo Leola. He may have tried to do too much, though. The ball pops out the back. Jonathan Tamatine. Now Leleofano, quick hands. Space opening up to more Manu. I think he needed to pass that ball a bit earlier. Oh, he just did pass it, and it's been dropped by Fritz Lee. Ball's bouncing around like it's in a pinball machine at the moment, but no one able to hang on to it for long enough to create the attack. What's your opinion on the 7-1 split? See, everyone is losing their minds over this, says On The Fly. Yeah, it does seem to be the big talking point of the rugby world this week. I mean, it's one of those ones that it's within the law book. So, like, yes, it's not what you see sides doing because normally you want to have that balance. But at the end of the day, like, it's not allowed, if that makes sense. And come on, Samoa, epic comeback, last-minute clutch win. Says I am giant. I will mention anyone who hasn't already as well. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are currently sitting 90 subscribers away from the 34,000. So let's see whether or not we can get there by the end of this live stream. It is completely free as well. Hit that subscribe button. You'll get notified when we release videos, including the post-match review that we will be doing of this match. So yeah, if you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I have one Fijian flag and Samoan flag on my car. I went out and the Samoan one is gone. Somebody is angry outside, says the new age. As a Samoan, these guys are useless. Good night, says Mr. Kiwi for life. I can't see, says Derek. You can't see the subscribe button, Derek, or just in general? And come on, Samoa. In there as well. Epic comeback, last minute clutch win. And 7-1 split against Ireland is risky, but if it doesn't backfire, there's going to be high reward. Yeah, it's one of those risk-reward scenarios, isn't it? Never say they are useless. Slow score, mate. Says Derek, I was only reading what the person said in the chat. I just relayed the message. Well done, Hamish. Says Modi. And Argentina have been poor. Samoan attacking ball handling and set pieces have been awful. Says Robinson. Yeah, I think both of these sides, to be honest, if they play like this up against Japan, I think Japan go through to the quarterfinals. That's a bold statement, but like Argentina, they should still beat Japan, but we're just not seeing the same the same Argentina that we saw throughout that Rugby Championship competition. Now going off to the left-hand side, a little loop around play here for Los Pumas. Going to kick it in behind now, playing the territory game, although that one looks like it might roll too far, or does it? It's a 50-22. Brilliant kick. If it had gone just a little bit further to the side, could have been a different story. A great bit of work there. Oh, tell you what, Matthias Marroni almost headbutted his teammate. He was fired up. Let's talk a Huaca going to centre. At some point in the game, your thoughts, says Sean. I feel like that is, like, it may be unlikely, but it's also, I guess, a way of saying it's a 6-2 split rather than a 7-1, if that makes sense. And Japan have looked better than both teams, says Robinson. And hi, Veronica. Here enjoying your broadcast, everyone. Thanks. Says, oh, sorry, it was Verona rather than Veronica. And also, if Argentina can't make tries, they're going home, says Arnold. Oh, this looks bad. Charlie Faumuina might have some sort of injury. This is his first Rugby World Cup game for Samoa. Depending on how serious this injury is, it could be his last as well. I think the players are struggling with the wet ball. That's why they play him badly, says Reshan. And also, we have got their Super Rugby Americas, says Mikhail. But now 13 minutes remaining. Samoa go up to $36 underdogs. Now, in terms of, like, stat-wise, the chance of them winning this game, where's the percentage thingy? They have got rid of it, I think. But, yeah, it's looking unlikely for the Samoans to make a comeback unless they can get themselves another try very soon and they can stop Argentina from scoring this one. Great 50-22, almost, but it's not taken back inside. Yes. So the Samoan scrum feed, Samoan line out. And there, sorry, I got all excited, didn't I? And that will be why they weren't allowed to take it quickly, because it wasn't their ball. Now Samoa Can they retain their line-out? Nicely done. It's bounced off ahead there, but the penalty for closing the gap against Argentina will relieve that pressure. Who are likely to progress from this pool? I believe England have secured themselves their spot from getting those 2 wins in the first 2. And then, to be honest, like I said, Japan probably looking decent. That kick from Samoa just going into touch. Brilliant kick from him. Angelo Leola definitely looking like the real deal since making his way onto the field here. But yeah, I'd say the winner of this game or Japan have the best chance of making it through. At least 16 lineouts won for the Argentines. Just watch your video on the box. Only way box will win is if the box kicks good, but Fuff will kick as well, says Ashley. Yeah, something that happened in that Romania game was they did switch a bit between their kickers, but no one was really having the best accuracy. That's nicely taken by Samoa, now 40 metres out from the line. Jonathan Tamatina, it's a knock-on again. I just want to call like a Samoan backline play, but we don't get that chance yet. Oh, looks like a bit of push and shove there. In the front, still happening between, I think that's Thomas Gashaw. He's having a bit of argy-bargy. Argy-bargy has never been so staged or factually true because he is an Argentine. Oh, I can understand why there was a bit of annoyance there though, because Mateo Carreras, we did see him just dive through the breakdown. I saw on Facebook that Rassi putting kits off on the wing. It must be a meme. Here's Gary. And see the relief on the faces of the medics when Samoa's number 17 got up. Says Kalmack. Did he not kick it though, says the New Age. He did actually get the grubber to it a little bit, but it still counts as loss of control of the ball, unfortunately, for D'Angelo Leola. And also the George emojis from I Am Giant, but it's going to be good Island, no. That kicking is not good. So they will try and guts off points there, says Ashley. And 11 is frustrated and ill-disciplined the whole game, says Audio. He's a very temper-fueled man, Mateo Carreras. Now Argentina inside of their own half. Still 10 minutes remaining. 1 try here, I would say, will win the game. Gone for the grubber in behind with a 50-22. Ben Lamb, he hasn't actually had a run in this whole game. He's kicked it downfield there, though. Nicely taken to the back by Juan Cruz Malia. Jonathan Tamatine. Good low tackle mate there. To the left-hand side for the Argentines. If Samoan really playing this game, that's going to be knocked on. Or sorry, forward pass there, I should say. Springboks will go, or will win, go the box, says the cute girl. I'm definitely expecting some drop kicks from Crowley tomorrow, says him. And that's the thing. I mean, England showed that you can get away with getting a few extra points on the board if you do go for the occasional drop kick. I will mention anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. As well, we are in the 80 away now from the 34,000. So if you do want to help us out, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Another mistake, says Brian. Yeah, every backline at the moment, there's just something that goes wrong. And the thing is, it's not just Samoa, it's also Argentina in this case. Keep dropping the ball, having those errors. Samoa now $41 underdogs in this game. If they can somehow pull off an upset win here, that would be huge for the Samoans. Let's stay focused, guys. Argentina versus Samoa, says Colin. Spend my time wishing you sleep, says Slobber Dog. I mean, I will be sleeping at some stage if that helps, but just not yet. We've got a few other videos to finish editing first. And I was like, hey, bro, says Bunner Gaming, welcome in. And sorry, my spelling isn't the best, but as a Bok fan, we have to figure out our kicking. But luckily, we have Pollard back, says Ashley. Although I think Pollard coming in so late will be tricky for them to balance because, of course, you don't want to chuck him in the deep end too early just in case he isn't playing as well as he was before he was injured. And you also want to give Marnie Libok a few more opportunities in there as well. And the George emoji there from Gareth. Now backline for Samoa. Can they hang on to the ball for more than 2 phases? That would be improvement compared to what we have seen in the second half as well. Nice carry forward for the Samoans. I believe that was Sama Malolo at number 16. Ball not available. Julio Montoya is allowed to be in the breakdown. Chris Vui now with the pick and go, driven backwards by Rodrigo Bruni. Come on, boys, says Derek. I'm use for editing, says Bystander. So mainly I use Filmora just because it's nice and basic. And my computer can run it without it crashing. What's the possession percentage? Difference is now another lost ball from the Samoans, although I think they've said that it was actually stripped by Argentina, who now take it back into their in-goal area. He's taken down. Oh, it's going to be a 5-metre scrum. It looked like a knee to the side of the head from Jonathan Tamatine. It was stripped back, so this is actually going to be a great opportunity now for the Samoans just out from the try line. Right, one moment. We will go like this. The percentages at the moment for possession in the whole game, still 65% in favour of Argentina compared to the Samoan 35, and territory is actually relatively similar in there as well. 5 metres out from the line. They're saying there's a knee to the head from Jonathan Tamatino. I feel like that's one of those scenarios, though, that he is ducking down to try and make the tackle, and it can't be completely his fault, the fact that the Pumas player has ducked the way that he has. I got Argentina by 13 in the game now. Says Gareth, and your Samoa forward needs upgrade. Too slow for rugby. They only have like 3 valid forwards. Says the new age, and Vamos Crevi. Yeah, Augustine Crevi now making his way onto the field for the last 7 minutes of this game. It's going to be an important one. Okay, Nick Berry. He's given a bit of a warning there. 5 metre scrum though. Can Samoa pull off a miracle here and get themselves a last minute try? We've got there Viva la France. Says a rebel there. And hard to pull away from that. Says, no, yeah, he was trying to make the tackle if the man was on his feet, but then he did slip, so there wasn't really anywhere he could go. Which is why it's still going to be a Samoan ball here. Here we go. Scrum's gone down on the side for Argentina, but Tamatine, they've got the penalty advantage as well. Ben Lam wanted it. He was one-on-one. Oh, D'Angelo Leula throwing himself at the try line now. Jonathan Tamatine, new advantage for the Samoans. Once more, Theo McFarland almost leaping over the tackle attempt of Santiago Chocabarez. Pumas have been told to leave that one in the breakdown. They were looking to get it. Laliafano was doing... Oh, that's a slide tackle. Wasn't it? Did Santiago Chocabarez just go in like he was playing for the Argentines in the Football World Cup? Or was that just my brain playing tricks? Did he lead with his feet there? Because if he did, that is quite bad. It looks like they are going to be going for the corner this time. No, in fact, they will be going once again with the scrum. I need to see a replay of that. What happened? Oh, actually, Sama Malolo's just going to go with a quick tap and go here for the Samoans. Does the tap himself. Charges at the try line, just short. Not able to reach out for it. What a tackle, yellow. Says it was there from Jimbo. Now just short again, Fritz Lee. It's within inches now for Samoa. That is extremely close. They need to make sure they're scoring close to the close to the try line and the posts, because then should be an easier kick, and they do need every kick that they give. It's a yellow. Oh, it's over the line though for the Samoans. It's Sama Malolo. And now Samoa back into the contest. That's a yellow card in soccer. Says Gus, yeah, I swear he did just lead him with his feet. But it is going to be now Samoa back in the contest right near the end of the game. Have they got enough in the tank to be able to steal this one late? They are running low on time though, 75 minutes through. D'Angelo Leula, he is normally pretty accurate with his kicking. Didn't even take that long to line it up, and now the score, 16 points to 10. And why not kick for touch? There's answer, because they wanted to score the try quicker, and that's what they've been able to do here. Amish, maybe get rid of the floating heart. People mistake it as a like. Is that an option to turn those? That's in the chat, isn't it? And cards should be banned. Card spoil games, says Rebel. But now Samoa, they are 6 points down at the moment. They are now $10 underdogs in this game, so they have completely changed the betting odds after being able to get that one. If Argentina get themselves 3 points at some stage soon, they will end up in the scenario of being in the position of winning this game. But if Samoa can put together one last attack here, get themselves a converted try, they will walk away with the full points available in this match. Christian Laliafano going for the cross kick. That was not the choice, I don't think. Nigel Awong, though, trying to slap it back. Argentina back in possession. They will probably set up for a drop kick here if it does set up perfectly. But now going for the backline movement, it will be Nicolas Sanchez. Moves up to 22 metres from the line. I think Samoa are going to regret kicking that ball away from Christian Lealiafano. Now going off to the left-hand side here, Rodrigo Bruni. Tackled again. Berrano. In fact, it's going to be now Thomas Kubeli. Knock on from Crevi. So I've been given a lifeline here, Samoa. The energy and excellent commentary, Hamish reigns supreme. You're always ahead of the pack, says Ruth. And why would he kick, says the New Age. Yeah, luckily for them, it hasn't hurt them too badly, seeing as there was the handling error from the Samoans, from the Argentines. You can see the nervous faces around the stadium. Our best ref tomorrow, Dr. Ben O'Keefe, South African Island are fortunate. Hamish, you should come, you should have hired some Samoans. South Africa, come on, says Goldberg. But I will mention, while this scrum is just about to take place, anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated you all being here. Samoa now $7 underdogs to come back into this contest and be able to win it. The crowd are certainly getting behind them. What a stupid kick. Although now they have still got the scrum feed in their favour, perhaps going to be able to get the penalty. That is somewhere where Samoa have been more dangerous in this game than Argentina is at scrum time. Now, ball is fed in. It's available. Tamatine goes back to Christian Lealiafano. This time, they're looking to kick it again. Okay, they're playing the territory game at this stage of the match, and I feel like it's the wrong decision for Samoa. Nice tackle on the halfway line, though. Now a bit of a counter-ruck there from Tamua. Manu gives away the penalty from the breakdown. This is going to be the chance now for Emiliano Boffelli to seal the deal for the Pumas. Or is it Nicolas Sanchez who will do it? It looks like Emiliano Boffelli will be stepping up to the mark now. Tamatine, he's disappointed. Massive mistake, though, in the final moments of the game. You can't afford to be kicking the ball back to Argentina. So it was a tackle made. Then from there, Jordan Taufua tried to get the turnover. Missed kicks. All those missed kicks are big. Kicking the ball away, just giving up, says the New Age there. Yeah, it was the case of waiting for Argentina to make the mistake when they needed to create their own chance, Samoa. Now with 1 minute remaining, of course, using up as much time as possible with this kick. If the kick hits, would have been a game changer, says bystander. But now Nicolas Sanchez. Man, he was injured for some of the 2022 and 2023 season. For the Argentines, 48 metres out. It's looking straight down the middle. Goes over the post. And that will now be the game. 1 minute remaining. Argentina now with the 9-point lead. And Samoa, their own tactics have gone against them here. And if they could do it again, they certainly would do it a different way. It's like teams go through a brain fade when they're behind and they kick the ball with 2 or 3 minutes left. It's now going to be a knock-on from the Samoans as well. So Argentina will have the last chance in this game. Terrible decisions from Samoa. And also we have got there, must have been 5th and final. Says I am giant. Okay, enough. See you next time, folks. I love Samoa and the Pumas, their sports contest. See the disappointment on the face of Theo McFarlane. There's been some players for Samoa who have stepped up in this game. When Nicolas Sanchez saw that kick going over, he was fired up. And absolutely loving it. That's done it for Samoa. Pumas very quiet in this game. No fireworks, and thanks for your commentary, Hamish, says Di. And why did Samoa kick? That is the question that a lot of people will be asking themselves. Why did they go for that kick? Get rid of the ball at the wrong time and then give Argentina that 9-point lead. Samoa, says admin there. And also now Samoa got the next one, says Wayne. In the next game, it is going to be up against Japan next week in the Rugby World Cup round 4, but actually the 3rd game for those two teams. Thanks so much, better commentary than Sky Sport, says Russian. Argentina so far throughout both of their games of this Rugby World Cup, they have got themselves 1 try in each of them. Question mark is whether or not they can continue to improve in the next game up against Chile. They've got themselves another penalty advantage there, though, for Argentina. Now, the big thing for them will be kicking this ball out. because they can't allow Samoa to get within the 7 because that could actually be the difference between a win and a loss in the group. Now Nicolas Sanchez, they're going for the chip in behind because they have got penalty advantage. The ball is loose. It's picked up by Mateo Carreras. And the referee apologizes, says that's my bad. And trying to explain that to Mateo Carreras, who was about to go for the try, he gets the pat on the back. Although here for Argentina, all they need to do is take this tap, kick it into touch, unless, of course, they want to try and increase their points differential that little bit more. But I believe the smarter move is to put this ball out. I think that thumbs up for your commentary again, Amish, says JB. And score Argentina. Thanks for the commentary, says Justin there. And also, we have got a new channel member in Junior. Oops, that's the wrong one. This one. Junior there. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. Nice interacting with some of you here as well, says Sean. The ball is kicked out. That'll be the game, ladies and gents, and that is going to be 19 points to 10. I also have just realised they didn't bring Milani Matavao onto the field, which is really confusing. I would have thought you'd stick Milani Matavao at 9, move Tamatene to number 10, seeing as Leleafano was having a bit of a shaky performance, or even put him out on the wing for Milani Matavao or Tamatene. I feel like he could have been that X-Factor player that Samoa needed in this game. Not a good day for Samoa. Regroup and focus on the next one. It ain't over. Thank you for your commentary, says Moana. And then thanks again, Hamish. I'll be the Island Box game as we have to go to a birthday party. Says it was there from Brian. And match finished Argentina 1. They did indeed. 19 points to 10 in their favour for this match. And cheers, Hamish. See you for the next game, says Gus. And there's our match finish. Argentina 1. And also hard luck, Samoa, says Jimbo. And there goes Samoa. One more try, says YouTube user. And also thanks, Hamish Shotus. Good game, Argentina. And cheers, Hamish. Sound job, bud. So the next 3 live streams that we have got, ladies and gentlemen, are tomorrow night. Portugal, they will be taking on the Georgians. England taking on Chile. And then also, it is South Africa versus Ireland, the last game of the night. We are covering that one on the channel as well. But yeah, thank you all very much for tuning into this live stream. It has been greatly appreciated, you all being here throughout this match. Can't see the subscribe button as well. Not sure why. Says Goldberg. Any interesting game tomorrow? I think the big one that people are looking forward to is going to be South Africa versus Ireland. That is what some people would consider the main event of the weekend. Australia versus Wales and Scotland versus Tonga both taking place on the day after. They will both be very entertaining games as well. I won't be here for South Africa Ireland game, going off to the local pub, says Di. No worries at all. Be sure to enjoy it. At the end of the day, it's going to be an atmosphere when those two sides go head to head. I just hope it is a very entertaining one. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. What a great commentary, Hamish. Hope you get some good sleep sometime tomorrow, mate, says La Chica. Yeah, we will be sleeping, I think in about 8 hours time, somewhere around there. We end up sleeping, a big rest before that Georgia-Portugal match, and then going right through the night for the last one, South Africa versus Ireland. But thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all for the next one.